You are wet. Respectfulness.
Ring, 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 hello.
Good.
All kinds of people.
Yes.
Especially
inclusive.
Sims and Virgins.
God damn it.
And welcome back to Krown's magical Derpson Cave.
The Perturption Cave is back. Welcome back to the Krown Crypto channel. It's time to take those goddamn bananas out of your ears and listen to the sounds of Bear Jesus as we get ready for a little Thursday fun over here. Anyways, I'm not necessarily convinced that Bear Jesus is showing up at this exact moment in time, but there is plenty to discuss, of course, in the short-term time frames right now, and I do see that there's a shit ton of people in here as well, which is insane. We already have 300 likes on this video, which is more than yesterday. As far as the video, or right off the bat as the video starts, 800 people watching. What the fuck? You degens, go back to bed, go to sleep. What are you doing awake at these hours? You should be in bed getting a full 8 hours of sleep. But for you in the Eastern Hemisphere, in the Asian continents, and then also Europe as well, good job. You're up at a reasonable hour, and that's exactly what we like over here. And we're going to need our fucking energy today because, well, I do expect that there is going to be a bit of action going on onwards and forwards here. But before we get into that, I do want to say a welcome to all of our moderators, our lovely moderators. There she is, Nikki Page. I see you. There he is, Rocky G, my fucking man. I think even Dodgymon is here. Dodgymon, where art thou? Where art thou indeed? I think I might even see. Wait, nope. I think that's actually it for today. Yeah, Dodgymon, Rocky G, Nikki Page, and Miss Elsa is here as well. And man, it is a full fucking house today, and very little has actually even happened in the last 24 hours, which is rather interesting. Anyways, so yes, let's get into it right now. Start off with the Krown application, which we found at app.krowng.net. But I forgot to wish you a happy and healthy start to this nice little Thursday morning over here from Helsinki, Finland. A very cold Helsinki, Finland. But I've learned through the comment sections, which yes, I very much do read. Apparently, negative 20 degrees Celsius is nothing for you Canadians out there. Apparently Canada is just like an absolute freezer of a country, so good luck with that shit. God damn, man, I can't imagine it any colder than what it is right now. It is like literally very it's like hurtful to go outside right now. Oh, and also before we get into it, oh my, I can't believe I forgot to say this again. On Instagram there's been a bunch of scam impersonators with very similar accounts to mine, but always, changes like one letter or so it looks quite similar, but it is not me. I can assure you of that. I'm not interested in trading your cryptocurrency account for you, or any account for that matter. I'm very much happy to be trading my own account, and I can assure you that it is not me, and probably very likely a scammer. And I actually put out a message on my personal Instagram yesterday, which is actually linked in the description below. So if you actually are wondering which one is really the me, really me, really the me, or really me, that would be it. And then I had a shit ton of friends from like a former life basically hit me up saying, yeah, I've been added by like 20 times by your account. And I was thinking, what the fuck is going on? And why is Krown asking me to send him money in crypto? It's very embarrassing. It's really fucking embarrassing, actually. Anyways, with that in mind, let's get into it right now. Start off with the Krown application. Of course, it can be found at app.krowng.net. There is a link in the description below, and it's also for the price of $0.00. And what do we see? We do see that the fear and greed index is at a 28, so it's actually ticking up a little bit here as Bitcoin does dance around the $50,000 area, but still within the overall fearful zone. And we do like this. Now I expect that this can stay down here for a little bit longer, but this is an overall good sign alongside the underlying market or the other underlying market dynamics, which are suggestive that, hey, whilst Bitcoin probably spends some time around here, it is at least, well, we are starting to see some interesting things. I'll just leave it right there. Of course, price action trumps everything else at the end of the day. And as far as top 10 best coins go in the last 24 hours, we actually do have some big winners there. Wax, whatever the fuck that thing is, Near Protocol, Huobi Token, Cello, Amp, Terra is also one of the winners, Cadena, Adios, EOS is, oh shit, EOS is there, dear lord, and Thorchain all on the winners list with actually some pretty damn decent gains there, mostly in the double digits. And if we go to the market data tab over here, we do see something that is a little bit sombering actually. The global funding rate did take into essentially positive territory. Now, this is obviously not a massive, humongous rate. It's even below what I consider parity at 0.01%, but still, you are technically paying to hold your long across multiple exchanges for this moment in time, and most longs are either negligibly, in profit or mostly underwater, depending upon where they kind of entered in from. And we do see that the global open interest alongside the leverage ratio both ticking up right here, pretty much at the same pace as well, whilst exchanges reserves continues on with the downtrend. And we see a little bit of outflows here, but realistically, the big news was like the last 3 to 4 days where we saw consistently double-digit outflows in like the 15,000 to 20,000 region for like 3-4 days straight. So that is of significance, obviously. But again, that doesn't necessarily mean that Bitcoin's like destined to just green dildo its way exactly at this moment in time. At the end of the day, again, price action trumps everything else. So whilst the underlying market dynamics can give a bit of a bias, it still needs to be aligned with price action, of course. And into the third data tab we go. I just want to highlight the fear and greed index once again. We actually hit lower levels than what we saw in the last weekly low in September at 40,000 bucks. Now, we do expect it to stay within this region for a while, at least, a couple weeks realistically. And the longer, I wouldn't say the better, the longer implies that, we're looking at a major area essentially. So for example, the last $40,000 area for Bitcoin in September spent about a week and a half to 2 weeks down there. Yeah, from late September to early October. And then of course, the last humongously macro low over the summer, we did see this consistently in there for, about 3 months essentially. So we can definitely spend some more time within this region. We didn't really start getting into it until about the last week in November. And now we're into the first week of December. So it's about 2 weeks now. So this is, this is a major area, obviously. It's actually more significant than what we saw in end of September, at least from that sort of view. And I think it's time to go into the price action charts right now and now start to measure this up with, well, the most important areas to be aware of course. And it basically comes down to what we saw yesterday and also on Friday from last week's closure on CME, which basically was the gap fill at about 52,000 bucks right here. As you can see, wick to wick, beautiful. And now I do like to use that area as a bit of a bias buster, if you will, in the sense that if Bitcoin does start to take back above there, I do look at that as very likely to follow probably in stock market footsteps and put a nice little green dildo back up to our prior range high, somewhere around 59,000 bucks. And that's where the next big test will come. Now, personally speaking, I would probably be overall bullish if we did see something like that. But for right now, this is not the most strong price action structure right here. So again, it's very similar to the last few days, essentially. Really little has changed there. And this is why I've been a lot more on the conservative side. I've been very unwilling to be full on, gung-ho green dildo bullish. And I've not necessarily been like full on bearish either. I don't think that Bitcoin's going to put in significantly new lows here if it does trade back down, which for right now, this thing is kind of slinking on over as momentum oscillators do turn down as well. If we go over here to the short-term timeframes, we do see 4-hour Stokes are nosediving as long as below 50,350. 3-hour is also going to be angled to the downside as long as below 50,150. Bi-hourly is going to be showing downside as long as below 50,450 as well, and hourly below 50,350. So we see a lot of things that actually pivoted around that very low $50,000 number, basically this area right here. So even getting back above there, while it would obviously look good for the short term, it doesn't really do anything for me. As long as Bitcoin's essentially below its last rejective high that we saw on December 7th, that would be the most aggressive that I'd be willing to get in order to be looking for like some legitimate upside outside of the range, more importantly, and very likely back to our prior range highs in this case, whether it be 57 or 59,000 bucks, probably hits both over time, to be fair. Anyways, until then, I do still look for Bitcoin to very likely slink on over, playing out the same signals that we looked at over the past couple days here. We did have a little bit of hidden bearish evidence. Now, I definitely think that the easy portion of that move's already played out. That was your move from 52 all the way down to yesterday low at 48,500. But it does look like right now we still do maintain the trend. And as long as we maintain the trend will be our friends, or at least for myself, that is the best way that I've found to do things. Whenever I go against it, I get humbly reminded by the good old red dildo of the market that Krown, you are not smarter than the market still, and you must pay in financial losses right now. Anyways, so yes, if Bitcoin comes back down to prior base at 47,000 or just above 47,000 is technically where it is. Let's actually mark it off right here with a nice little blue box of peace and prosperity. It's actually a little bit lower than that. Let's get that properly. I'd be looking for short-term bounces around there. Probably wouldn't just blindly call a reversal from right there, but anything around there, I would be looking for a short-term bounce. Potentially Bitcoin does put in a bit of a higher low around that region. However, if we do break below it about 47,000 and what is this wick to the downside right here, 250, even on an hourly closure, then yes, I would be looking for Bitcoin to put in a full move somewhere down around the top end of this red box territory right here. Now, to reference the title of this video, and apologies for I wouldn't necessarily call that clickbait, but there is legitimate reasons for that title, and that would be the short-term fear essentially for price action. So why should you be afraid currently? Well, if you're over leveraged and you're long within this region right here, we're still holding the downtrend. So there's nothing that's really changed, to be fair. And with stock market looking like it wants to pull back, if we hit our targets from the last, I think it was either yesterday or the day prior, Bitcoin probably doesn't fare all that well during that. The question is, do we hold up right here, or does Bitcoin get a full-on move somewhere around about 45,000 bucks, which would also be kind of considered, playing out the same move that we saw over the weekend, but now with CME also trading, which has not seen that same move, did not see the same move all the way down to about 45,000 bucks, which is the 0.5 Fibonacci trace right there. Same thing on spot price action as well, but we do want to see good confluence between spot and of course CME here. Anyways, let's go back into this, or sorry, let's actually go back on over here and go to this chart right here. And this is why I would not be essentially, well, to reference the title once again, why you should not be afraid if you are more long term in this case. Well, I still do like this area as a higher low. That is still your weekly higher low, and we still do have one massive ascending triangle actually building up here, which would imply reaccumulation. It's just all that it is just higher lows, which means that buyers are getting more aggressive. It's actually a very intuitive sort of interpretation of it. Doesn't mean that it's destined to break out to the upside over time, although it's more likely statistically speaking. But in this case right here, where would that essentially come to fruition on the weekly scale? Well, as long as we're below, especially 60,000 bucks, there ain't no talks of that. Above 60,000 bucks, yes, very likely to bust on through, do some busting action with some. What's funny about busting action? What's funny about busting action? There's nothing funny about busting. What's funny about busting? Get the fucking bananas out of here. We're about to bust on through 60,000 bucks, play out some goddamn technical targets all the way to $95,000 in line with the 1.618 Fibonacci extension. And there we go, busting all the way to new all-time highs. Or, I feel it coming.
Or there Jesus comes back and he busts on through $70,000, forcing the price action back down to $35,000. Right-handed, all with the weight and early longers along the way, and now we're shifting on in pitches from the metal hole throughout the Angus Hall, and you're fucking wrecked.
Would you like to talk more about busting? No, exactly right. Exactly fucking right. Anyways, look, as long as Bitcoin's above the green 55 exponential average right here, I do just treat that as still higher lows. And within the context of this current trend, the trend does remain. And well, that would be obviously long-term bullish. The question is, will you survive that long? And most people on leverage with especially, more than 10x leverage on the board, that perhaps could be difficult. And again, this doesn't mean that it's 100% guaranteed to work out. It just offers up a nice edge. So like I said yesterday, which I'm happy to share what I did, this is the first time that I've actually put in fiat currencies into the market over the weekend, where I actually bought in the mid $40,000 territory. I didn't get my full fills there, actually. I was a little bit too slow on the draw, to be honest with you, and probably being a little bit too greedy, to be fair as well. But I'd be happy to position there again. For some long-term buys, mostly because, and this is not finished buys, non-financial buys, I'm just sharing what I'm doing here, mostly because I don't have to wait all that long and to find out if this is going to work out or not for me. Because if I am playing the weekly trend, where's my risk? Basically right here. And if we are looking at long-term price action, well, that would be of relevance. Obviously, that would invalidate the trade thesis, which is essentially we're still in an uptrend, and as long as we're above that region, it's a higher low. So it's nothing more complicated than that. And in fact, that is, I wouldn't say how easy or simple trading should be. It's not easy nor simple, but the plan should always be relatively easily digestible and easy to explain. In this case, that's it. That's the crazy one, after years and years of doing this. That's it, man. That's fucking it. Anyways, for right now, again, would negate that short term and make me immediately more bullish. Just realistically trading back above your 7th of December highs, or especially closing a daily above there, that would look pretty damn good. I was saying 54,000 bucks yesterday. If you want to be a little more conservative, I do think that is still relevant here. The reason being, it's just, among other things, not just the 0.5 Fibonacci trace, but also just as far as structure goes, that is your last structural breakdown. So breaking back above there, well, that would be of interest and actually revert that, which would imply moves back up somewhere around about 57 to 59,000 bucks, and that's going to make the whole picture look a lot better. Anyways, what's also rather comforting here is the fact that Ethereum and a few other cryptos are actually looking quite good. I don't want to go through them exactly right now, but what I do want to go through right now, which does kind of play into the analysis that we probably pull back first, would be going back on over here to traditional markets, of which, again, this one had a beautiful move off the lows, putting in yet again another higher low on the fucking weekly and higher term timeframes, which is powerful. But anytime that you test around your prior all-time highs in this case, it's very likely to pull back on the first pass. So I want to pull out and bust on through to the prior chart that we were looking at yesterday. It's again no more complicated than this right here. Now, to be fair, this one still does maintain its own short-term time frame uptrend as well, so I wouldn't necessarily call it a confirmed pullback just yet, but what would confirm a pullback right here? Well, if you are playing the short-term time frame structure, it's actually quite simple as well. Just using this as your nice little basing point at about 46.69.5. Below there, I do look at this one as likely to play all the way down towards, at minimum, the daily 9 and probably more like the daily 21. Again, that'd still be bullish overall. I mean, that would just be a healthy pullback. It's only below about the 21 in this case, which is about 46.30 on a daily closure, where I'd actually say that that is no longer wise, and this is going to be a bit of a bull trap. I don't think that's what's happening here, but that would be my interpretation if that were to happen. Until then, just short-term pullbacks are fine. And what would negate it on the other side? Well, not necessarily negate it, because we have not confirmed that short-term reversal, as we are still trading obviously above this wick low, but basically popping back above and closing an hourly dildo even above your high from, I think this was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday at 47.11. That would be, or let me just double check, 47.12. Apologies, it was $1 off. That would be confirmation of that. And in this case, send it back to the prior all-time wick high, and then probably trudge this way onwards and forwards from there. And that'd probably do well or bode well for cryptocurrencies and basically all markets. But it seems to me that Bitcoin and cryptos essentially trade with traditional markets, but on the downside, they have they have a higher beta on the downside, meaning that they outperform to the downside, and on the upside, they underperform, which is not a sign of fucking strength, to be fair. So it's not great, but it's all that we got right now, man. It's all that we fucking got. So with that in mind, I actually would keep a keen eye on traditional markets, specifically SPY, futures in this case. Maybe Nasdaq is probably a little more akin to Bitcoin, which is actually not as strong as SPY, but same sort of structure here as well. If you were to do the same thing on Nas, it'd be 16,250 or so right here. And then yes, I would be looking for that pullback somewhere down around 16,100 or 16,000 base, and very likely a bounce there. And again, that would be completely fine for traditional markets. It's Bitcoin that probably wouldn't bode all that well during that time. So if and when traditional essentially does pull back here, which I think is a little bit likely, well, that's not going to be interpreted all that well. So fair enough. Anyways, I am going to turn on the alerts, or maybe we don't turn them on. Apparently people were quite annoyed by them the other day. Fair enough. I do understand that it's a little bit on the more annoying side, but what I did forget to do is I did forget to go over the higher term time frame stochastic momentum oscillator, which I haven't even looked at. Momentum oscillators over here on the daily. Yeah, it's certainly more on the bear side, not great on the daily R side. 2-day is going to be basically the same thing, and 5-day, which is not closing today, but is closing not tomorrow, but the day after that. Yeah, okay, so that's not really relevant right now. I could easily put another move down to that 55, which is $47,000 base, and give another bounce there, and it wouldn't really change all that much. Again, be aware of where we kind of are in the grand scheme of things. This can take some time, and time is fine, but I imagine that is where people start to run into problems, because how do I know that? Because that's where I run into problems myself. I get impatient. I even see in the Discord this morning, the Padawan, where is he? Where the fuck is he? The Padawan, Mr. Wally, I don't know if he is, if he's here today, but the Padawan Wally, he's already getting frustrated, man, because it's a range and it's boring. Well, welcome to fucking trading, man. That's going to happen a lot, in fact. But well, the problem right now is that options for Bitcoin are not really like viable, or super viable right now. I mean, you can do it on Deribit, but if you're an American, well, good fucking luck with that. Because if you actually do have access to options, and these are actually quite welcome times, and that's actually used to be where I made most of my money when I actually trade them on Deribit there. Anyways, okay, cool. So we went through all of that. Is there anything else? Maybe we just briefly go through CME. I wonder if it's at all different than what we're seeing right now. By the way, daily stokes remain to the upside as long as below about $48,000, so that is good. 12-hour remains to the upside as long as about 49,120. Anyways, see if CME is anything different. It is actually. CME stokes remain to the upside as long as about 49,273, and daily is going to freshly cross up today with any sort of a closure above 50,661. So we do see a lot of things kind of pivoted around about the mid 50,000 area, about 50,500 if we were just kind of put a number on it. So as long as Bitcoin's below there, it is pressure down, and it's more likely to test the downside of our current range, which would be about a little bit over $47,000, probably a bounce implied there, and then come back to it after that. I believe I put out a shorts video on it last night, but the shorts videos are always weird. I don't know what to make of them, because people say that they don't really get the notifications on them at the moment that they're most relevant, and the problem is that they're usually like very short-term time frame price action. So once they expire, then they're expired. So I'm just going to take a sip of this water, and then we'll get into the comments. Oh boy, man. Your barber did you wrong, says Chill Money. Well, thank you for that, Chill Money. You are a very perceptive person, sir. Anyways, Yes, a very new and invigorating comment. Man, I think at some point, I hate to say this, but I think at some point we're gonna have to like make some sort of like a chat minimum, because these chats are just getting too much and too many, and I have to figure out some way to kind of filter through it. Yeah, we could probably close them at like a little bit earlier today. Yeah, we're probably gonna have to put like a limit on them at some point, just because it's just too much, man. And it's like, how do you titrate all them? I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to start off with Mr. Stefan Milosevic. What did I say? What? 9. Well, let's just play it by ear first, and then we'll talk, and then we'll decide it. Like 9:15 probably. All right, you decide. You are the boss right now. Elsa's going to be the boss bitch. That's right. The boss bitches. Don't girls love calling their little groups boss bitch? Elsa has a group of friends that call themselves the boss bitches. They're all very attractive girls, very well put together, good jobs and everything. But you know what? They're always fucking crying. How's that for boss bitches? Yeah, fuck off. Anyways, sorry. I say that with respect. What? Dump it. Stefan says Avax for our daily weekly. Sure, man. All right, let's go check this one out. We didn't check this one out yesterday, I don't think, and this one's usually quite popular. Let's see, it's not holding up as well as the other strong ones, that being Solana and Ethereum and Matic, for example. But I expect that this we're due for a video here, so let's actually do a video. And this one's actually rather simple here. So let's start it off with AVAX or Avalanche, symbol AVAX versus the dollar. And what do we have? We have a bit of a short-term trading range above 95 bucks. I would call this one resolved for the short term. Very likely looking for moves back around about $1.0625, maybe even more over time, as this would start to look like a bit of a higher low, probably on your higher term timeframes. With that in mind, we do see daily RSIs doing what? We are making significantly actually lower lows than what we even saw all the way back to early October over here. So yes, you would have some divergences built up all the way up to, I believe, even a 2-day. Yes, indeed you would, if you do start to clear back above that region. Now, short-term timeframes like a 4-hour, are we looking at that exactly right now? In fact, yeah, you could even confirm it on a 4-hour, not yet, but above the same level as whenever we charted this one last, which was not yesterday, but probably the day prior, which would be above about 97 bucks on a 4-hour closure. I would be looking for a move back up somewhere around 107 to 110-ish region, and that would start to look pretty damn good. And then we would start to print in and confirm bullish or hidden bullish evidences, I should say, on the daily, 2-day, and maybe even a 5-day as well. Let's just go double check. No, it wouldn't be on the 5-day actually. 5 days still has a lot of work to do, to be fair. So so with that in mind, I would certainly not front run this in this case. And you do have a bit of an inverted head and shoulders reversal formation right here. Again, the resolution of it would be essentially the same as what we just said. And where would I negate this and look for this one to not just retest around your $75, $76 lows, but actually perhaps break down a little bit further? No, I'd actually just be looking for a move back down to about 75 bucks if this were to happen. And that would be just with a 4-hour closure, even just an hourly closure below about 86 bucks in this case, as we would kind of destroy what is proverbially your right shoulder right there. Now, do we have hidden bearish evidence potential on the 4-hour RSI? No, so that is a comforting signal right there, I suppose. But let's go over here into our stochastic momentum and see if that is agreeing with this one or not, because that could actually help with the biases. And daily stokes will turn back up above 87.74. That is good. And no, I don't see anything else there of particular interest. 12-hour is already turning back up above 86. Okay, that's also good. 4-hour will be turning up with any sort of a closure above 92.5, which it is currently above right now, just by a hair. And the hourly is actually turning down at below about 93.70. So it's right there within striking distance, but I do need to see that confirmation happen first. Otherwise you're at the mercy of a bit of a fake out. But even the Jewel is actually given a bit of a signal right there. It's not supported by DMI, so that is not actionable in my book. But some more aggressive people will look at it as such. And if you did, you probably already longed about 90 bucks anyway. So fair enough. Easy one to manage regardless, but not for me. So yes, hopefully that was helpful for AVAX. And yeah, has a chance here, obviously, but still need to see it above that critical level, that being $97 on a 4-hour closure, nothing less. Hopefully that was helpful, and there you go for AVAX, sir. Rebel Dia says, Bear Jesus on full mode. I wouldn't say he's on full mode, but let's go check out your Tezos over here, because maybe this one is. Perhaps it is. Let's see. All right, and you're on a 12-hour and daily. I do want to see the weekly here. Okay, the weekly is actually rather interesting, man. The weekly had a really good recovery right here, and do we have hidden bullish divergence here? Yeah, we should actually, or sorry, we wouldn't have it right now, but if you do see a weekly closure above about 540 or 545, that will confirm this, and this will be a higher low on the weekly. I think the 5-day might be front-running that, or perhaps is front-runnable to that, as it's closing one day before. And what do you know? It is. So this is actually a good signal right here. Anyways, on the lower term timeframes, looks like a bit of a range, so not really too interesting for what it's worth. Something like this, what I'd be looking, or I guess I already have that area charted off. Does look like it's kind of primed for a little bit of a short-term pullback. Bitcoin actually just pumped up about $1,000 before I even finished my sentence right there. Jesus, man. But if you're asking about the 12-hour and the daily specifically, okay, if you're just concerned about the 12-hour on the daily, while I would be looking for a bit of a pullback from that region, which you're kind of getting right now, it's not problematic. What would be problematic on this one, and what would actually switch me on to full-on bearish? Well, I wouldn't say full-on bearish, but looking for another retest of your wick lows, or somewhere around about $3.50 would be with any sort of a probably even a 4-hour closure below about 470 in this case. Until then, price action above there is fine. Just look at that as a nice healthy consolidation, but need to see it close. You could probably even use a 4-hour in this case as well. Yes, you could. So I don't think you need to wait for the 12-hour, but you know, that's personal preference, obviously. Closure above about 590 in this case, and yes, I would be looking for this one to reclaim around your prior range highs at about 685 to 690 or so, and that would look pretty damn good. Obviously, it would imply that you do have a higher low on your 5-day and weekly, which would look very, very good overall. So hopefully that's helpful. I'll drop something over here. Got it. All right. Nice. But yeah, you know, I mean, this is not like the worst chart of all time, just corrective short term, and actually having a pretty damn good response compared to most of this market. Just briefly go back to Bitcoin here. That one did just have a $1,000 move. Wait, what? That was not a $1,000 move. What am I thinking? Oh, sorry. It did not have a $1,000 move. It actually traded down. For some reason, I thought it was already at 48,500 or so. So fair enough. Yeah, this one still looks slinky at best for the short term. Farhan says, morning, sir. Good morning, sir. RSR daily and weekly. Okay. Is reserve rights or something? Or don't know, but we'll find out over here, I guess. Daily and weekly. Okay, gotcha. And I think that this one probably does have history. At least I remember it from maybe 2017. Yeah, it's been around since 2019 at minimum. Again, the hopium here is that you're putting in a higher low on the weekly. You know, does it look like that? It looks really looks shoddy at best, but hey, you know, you do have a bit of a reversal pattern going on right here, and that actually does offer a bit of an edge, and it does imply that, hey, any sort of I actually have a, okay, fair enough. Actually, already have that in right there. I'm going to get rid of that for right now. I don't think you actually need that. Below about 3.2 cents, big problems, even on, you know, a 4-hour closure, I imagine. Until then, this actually does look like a little bit of a fake out reversal. You see these a lot, actually. And they're actually typically pretty damn good. Problem is, nothing really excited to get about here as long as you're below the same level as before. I don't know when I charted this one last, but it's 5.5 cents. Above there, that's where the fun action starts, I suspect. But you know, at best, this one's still consolidating right here. Let's see, we got some bullish divergence come off that last low. You know, it might come back down and swing around that 3.2 to 3.3 region, but I just don't want to see a closure below there. Until that happens, actually look at this as putting in a bit of a bottoming signature right there for what it's worth. If you're looking at a weekly, same shit basically. Sloppy, but that's kind of what you expect with altcoins now, isn't it? Now, if you do take out the bottom side area of that, probably going to be some big red dildos down to about 2.6 cent region. I'm going to take a sippy sip of this again. I can already feel my throat is like it's dry. What the hell's going on here? what is it? Good morning, Queen G. I appreciate that. Elsa says, KGO, the older guys seem to be worse than boys. What does that even mean? Do you like 40-year-old men?
I do not.
You do not.
Maybe they need men, not boys, and that's right.
Oh, maybe they need men, not boys. That's right. I'm a man. I'm ready. Yeah, they want to go to fine dining dinners. That sounds boring as fuck. Jesus Christ, man. Hey, Mario Giancini. Hopefully I'm saying that properly. Okay, I will not include you that so that no one here will think that you like fine dining as well. I saw Elsa at a fine dining restaurant though one time. It was in Dubai. Anyways, welcome to the cave, Mr. Mario. And by the way, I should remind you, if you do join the channel, like you just have, I want to make sure that you understand that you do actually have access to a little secret TA 101 playlist. It's very, very simple, very, very basic. But hey, you know, if you are new, it might be valuable to you. And I just want to make sure that people are actually subscribed to that, that you have that information. And holy fucking moly, man, there's almost 2,000 people in the house right now and already almost 1,000 likes. Like that's got to be a new speed record as far as like how fast that happened. What the actual hell? Anyways, John Dude says MTV USD on KuCoin daily and weekly. Okay, got it. I remember this is multivac, and that's probably going to get me banned from YouTube, but whatever. Kind of similar to Bitcoin in the sense that you are basing the weekly off the 55 right there. Problem with this one is that I do, oh no, actually I do see potential hidden bullish evidence there. The problem is that you don't have a local low just yet. So how do you confirm a local low on this one? Popping back above and closing a daily above about 1.5 cents would do it. That would look really, really good for moves back up towards your prior range highs at about 2 cents plus. But for right now, this one is under pressure, obviously. You know, if we look at the daily, you know, going to follow whatever Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin pops back down and tests around 47,000 bucks, let's say, this one probably finds another move just below 1 cent or so. But I would not call a full-on breakdown on this one until you actually close even a full hour, I imagine. Yeah, even a full hour. And this is, make no mistake about it, this is fucking ugly right here on the short-term time frames, below about 1 cent. If that were to happen, I am looking for moves back down towards, yeah, about 9/10 of a cent or so. Would look pretty ugly. So tight margins right there, but yeah, I just want to see like you know, even a full hour closure back up about 1.5 cent would look actually quite good to me, for a bit of a range reversal, and obviously higher term time frames put in higher lows. And I don't know, just want to go back down here to the very short-term timeframes. Do we have anything to be speaking about? I mean, this your hourly is still operating at higher lows, but just fucking barely. It's still got lower highs for days, though. That's the issue with these ones right here. Again, easier to follow whatever Bitcoin does, whatever direction Bitcoin decides to go. Most of the market's going to be following that, except for like a few outliers here and there, I imagine. Califros YouTube says PBX Peribus 4-hour and daily. Sure, man. Okay, so this is one I don't think I'm not familiar with, but it is it exists, and it's on KuCoin as usual, and it's actually, at least on the hourly, not bad. Let's go to a daily, or you're looking at a 4-hour daily. Interesting one right here actually, and we do not have, just barely have some hidden bullish evidence actually from this low over here to this low over here, and this is actually showing a lot more relative strength to most of this market. I mean, it's actually fucking rallying right now. Played out the inverted head and shoulders, so I look at this one as actually putting in a nice little reversal for now, as long as you're above about 1.48 cent. That would be kind of like your breakout point. I'm actually gonna write this one down. I just want to see where this one kind of ends up in the next few days. And probably looking at this one to trade back up towards your prior range highs. I imagine that's probably going to be confluent with whatever the measure move on this as a formation is. Oh, what do you know? Just around there, just below about 2 cents or so. So I do look at that as actionable and still valid, especially along some phantom drives of bullish evidence right there. And 4-hour Joule actually even has DMI support as well, so that is good. You know, likely to kind of head up around that region, and that would look actually a lot better. I mean, that's going to be, I guess, a higher low maybe on like your 2-day or something. Yeah, something like that. But again, major invalidation below about 1.48 cent. Major invalidation below there. That would look very, very ugly. So this one actually, you know, playing a little bit different than Bitcoin right here, which is showing relative strength, which is cool. Anyways, Chris Biolo says, Krown, if you have a minute to look at Rmrk 5-day, okay. Rmrk. All right, I remember we looked at this one the other day. Someone gave me a big shout out on Twitter for looking at this one as well, which was cool. Looks like you have a super big community as well, so major shout out to you, sir. Anyways, yeah, I remember looking at this one the other day. It actually still looks pretty damn good here. Okay, let's I want to get rid of this fib extension right there. It's just kind of being a bit of an eyesore and getting in the way. But basically, I don't really have too much to add on to this one that I didn't say yesterday. Could easily see another wick down to about 42 bucks or so. That's fine. This one's actually put in a higher low, it does look like. You know, and again showing relative strength against the general trend of the market right now. I can tell you exactly where to get bearish on this thing, and we don't have to necessarily wait for 37.5 any longer. At least I wouldn't. I think it is appropriate to be a little bit more what's called aggressive, somewhere around about $40.84 below there, especially on a 4-hour closure. I would be looking for this one to come back down somewhere around about 36.25 to 36 even or so. That would be problematic. Until then, you know, I respect the trend. Yes, it is still in a bit of a short-term consolidation, but short-term consolidation within the context of you know, of a long-term uptrend is typically a good thing. It just makes me bias towards an upside resolution. Where would I confirm an upside resolution? Just above 56 bucks and about 15 cents or so. Even on a short-term time frame closure is probably okay. And at that point, looking for, you know, moves back on towards your $70 to $71 highs, and very likely new all-time highs from there. Let's just see what the relevant targets would be. Yeah, long-term, upon validation above that $70 region, I would be looking for a move towards about 80 $80 to $83 or so before the next sort of pullback in consolidation. But overall, something that is again showing relative strength. I just imagine though that if Bitcoin does turn down, I don't know if this one will salvage itself, or at least, you know, it's going to be a lot more difficult. But looking at the higher term timeframes, 5 days, I mean, it's still a continuation, still looking good. There, weekly's just a backfill and up. I'm just curious to see over here if this is giving me any sort of major things to be concerned with on our stochastic momentum. Hourly is going to flip back up above $50. So again, short term still corrective, still sideways at best. Full hour is down as long as below below $50.42. So again, short term sideways is fine, but just don't want to see the major areas crack. We do see a nice trend line forming on the 12-hour Stokes right here. We'll turn back above $51, and daily, yeah, not going to really be too helpful. So it is still corrective. I mean, all momentum oscillators are turning down right here, but they're turning down within the context of an uptrend. So I'm just looking for higher lows first. And again, as long as this one doesn't crack below about, what was it, 41 1/4 or so, I look at this as, you know, fine and likely building up another move. Just going to take its time here. Probably trade sideways within this range a little bit longer. The range being again between about, you know, 40.85 and 56.15 or so. Hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for Rmrk, sir. Cool. And I hope you have a phenomenal day as well, man. Thank you for that. Garrett G says, good morning. Good morning to you as well, sir. Check out Ultra. Yeah, Ultra. Okay, Ultra. Okay, this, wait, hold on. I know that this one does have a ticker because, yeah, it's UOS. Okay, there we go. This thingy. And you're looking at a 4 hour. Interesting. And another altcoin that's actually reversed short term. You know, you have broken above what would be akin to like the $52,000 area that we see on Bitcoin. On this one, it would be about 174, and clean and clear break above it. Good on expanding volatility. Also good. Looking for this one to probably play out a move somewhere around about $2, a little bit above $2, somewhere right around here is fair game. And invalidation is very, very simply put below that same breakout level, below about 174. Even on like a 2 hour closure would look quite awful for getting price action back down to about 150 or so. But until then, yeah, one of the more interesting ones actually right here. This is another higher low. This is actually quite good. Another altcoin, and this is why I love doing these streams, because I actually get a lot out of it as well. I don't fucking look at these shit coins or this highly esteemed piece of technology right here, but this one is doing something completely different than Bitcoin, and that does bode well for Bitcoin overall in the greater cryptocurrency landscape as they do put in these consolidations. So yeah, I'm looking forward to pop back up there, playing at the hidden bullish divergence, and you know, it's okay. It's okay, actually. It's not just okay. It's actually one of the few things that are trending right now to the upside, and weekly actually still weekly might even engulf, which would be crazy. Anyways, Mr. D says, what's up, Krown? Hello, Mr. D. Is the Hopium back for LRC now? Okay, let's go check this one out. We haven't checked out this one, I think, since last week, so I haven't seen it since the old Dumpola right there. Man, that is fucking crazy. Or it's not fucking crazy, but that's profound. I mean, yeah, we haven't charted this one in a few days here, and it's the same range still. Crazy. But here's the thing. Here's the most important thing is that it did hold the same range lows from Saturday. It didn't even break below the 55 in this case, so it's actually quite good, or at least short term. Is the Hopium building back up in this one? Well, you know, at the end of the day, still need to see like an actual range resolution. In this case, your Hopium, which I imagine within the context of this conversation is probably like, where do I get really excited about this thing? That would be above about 3 1/4 or 320 or so. Until then, short term it's still ranging, and short term it actually does have a bit of a rejection here, so probably plays back down maybe around your somewhere around your prior range lows, like 220 or so. It's fine. But I do look at this one as okay, and the Hopium is alive as long as you're closing above basically that last higher low on the daily, which, or sorry, not your higher lows, not a higher low, but the last low on the daily, which is about $2 even. Below $2 even, I do look for this one to dump out rather significantly, somewhere down around about $1.50 to $1.55. Until then, okay, it's okay. Let's see, am I missing anything over here? No, not really. Just short-term range, but this one again showing a little bit more relative strength, as it does actually have a bit of a 4 hour reversal right there, which is good. Anyways, you're saying it touches 290. Yeah, 290 is not relevant in my opinion. Would confirmation to all-time high on a daily be above about 308? No, I'd actually say above about 320 in this case. You want to be more conservative on these ones, or it's not even being conservative, it's just that's your prior sort of rejective range highs. So things change around there as far as structure goes. Anyways, Aussie Pick says, good morning, Krown and Elsa. Good morning, sir. Hey, man, all good, brother, all good. And thank you for that. That's very kind of you. Can you please look at Algo? Is it holding on okay or about to collapse? I think last we looked at it, it was still holding the range low. It's kind of similar to Loopring, but just for a longer time, I believe. Yeah, same thing. I believe we looked at this one yesterday. I don't really have anything new to update on this one. Yeah, it does look weak right here, no doubt about that, but I still would not call this one a full-on breakdown until you actually officially close below about 155. Could maybe even do this on a 4-hour. I don't know if I'd do this on a 4-hour. It would be a little bit aggressive, but more aggressive traders than myself would definitely do it. And target moves back down towards 1.25 to 130 or so. But here's the thing, as long as this area does hold, this is not that helpful, or at least to be honest, this is actually the trading environment that I do like, just because it's very cut and dry. I mean, you've had the same trade for like it's basically gone on since like September. It's been the same fucking trade. But here's the thing, I actually would move up move down my point for resolution to the upside to this one now above about $2. That last rejective high that you saw on December 2nd, if you do see above there on a daily closure, that's going to look pretty damn good for moves back around at least your prior all-time highs at like $2.5 or so. But until then, this one is a little more on the weaker side, I would say, relatively speaking. 4-hour looks like it's playing out hidden bearish divergence right there, so it looks like it wants to give another test down around here. And every time that you do test the bottom side of the range, you got to kind of hold your breath. That bear Jesus isn't ready with the double-fisted red dildos of death. Otherwise, we can talk about the downside targets. I think the weekly would probably be relevant. Yeah, something like that. So let me actually take another sip of this water. Love from Alabama. Nice, man. We met a girl from Alabama over the weekend, and it reminded me exactly why I left America. Sorry, she was a very nice girl. She's a very nice girl. Sorry, I just said that to get some reactions. Okay, she's a very nice girl. All right, really amazing. She's talking about fucking college football at like a Finnish party. It's like no one knows what you're talking about. I even fucking know what you're talking about, and I'm from America. Anyways, Kobus, good morning, Kobus. Let's go smash the likes. Holy shit, it's just a nice positive message. Thanks for that, man. I would appreciate the smashing of the likes, but don't need to even smash it. Just like just caressing the like button is also good enough as well. But only do it if you feel compelled to, man. Only do it if you feel like you're getting value or anything like that. Or if you're just feeling generous as well, which is probably not the best way to ask for something. No one appeals to generosity. Anyways, Neva says, hey, thanks. Thank you, man. Thank you for that. Can you please do AVZ? Do it on the daily and weekly. Gotcha. AVZ, what is this thing? I'm guessing this is, okay, judging by your language, you're probably Australian, and you're probably looking at this right here. I'm going to guess. This is actually pretty damn good on a weekly. This would have been very concerning about 2 weeks ago, but you never got follow through below 52.5 cents. So this is actually looking like this is just still an uptrend right here is what it is. Hidden bullish divergence yet again on the daily. I'm looking for short-term backup towards your 71 to 72 cent highs. Any sort of a daily closure above there, and I'm looking for this is just continuation of trend. It's fucking ridiculously crazy trend right there. But let's see where the next area of interest is. I guess I'd be looking towards somewhere between about 76 to 80 cents or so on the weekly. So over the next few weeks here, I suspect when that be actionable. And of course, invalidation is just going to be below your last daily. What is your higher low right now at 57 cents? That would negate and invalidate the trade. But for right now, showing strength, man. A very, 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 very powerful reclaim of that area, actually. Very good. Let's see. You're okay. Appreciate that, man. But feel free to have a message, sir. Sweet Lou at Isle Equity. Nice, man. Matic, thank you. No time frames given. Sir. 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 All right, we can go look at it over here on Binance, and we should probably follow up on this one. All right, getting a bit of a pullback. I remember someone yesterday asked if we were having bearish divergence. Now we actually do have bearish divergence on a 4-hour, but you're seeing that move play out right here. And I don't suspect that it has, well, you might have a little bit more downside down to about 2.25 or so. But that's still fine. Anyways, intraday, I think it was quite, I think that move kind of speaks for itself. Got up all the way to about 260. Here's the thing though, this one does have an event today. So I'm usually, or at least in my experience, it's usually a sell the event type of thing when you have an event, but I don't know the specifics of it, nor do I trade, nor to be quite honest with you, care about this thing, just because I'm just, I'm just not interested in it, so I don't really follow the project. But as far as this one goes, I'm still long-term bullish on it, especially as long as you're closing dailies above 220, or sorry, yeah, 220 in this case. 4 hour, yeah, we're having a bit of a short-term pullback. That's fine. I can pull back a little bit more. Again, down to about 220 is completely fine. Long-term, I look at the breakout as valid. As long as you're above that region, and still the long-term upside targets are very much, in play here at 265 would be the next one. And then above there, upon validation above there on like a daily, the following few weeks, I'd be looking for this one to trade up somewhere above $3 to like 3.25 to 350. Still look pretty damn good. But short term, it is more corrective here, a little bit more of a pullback. And if the event is like one of those hype events, then that's going to negate a lot of what I'm saying right now, and you're probably going to see a reversal upon the event actually happening. Maybe you've even seen it right now, but yeah, that's really all to say about that one, man. Just be aware of where the invalidation is until then. Let the trend be your friend, depending upon what time frame you're in, which I don't know which one you are because I don't know. Let's see. Bitbeard Crypto says, please, sir, be my 100th subscriber. I'm Canadian, and yes, it is cold right now. Well, I'm a bit busy right now, but I'm sure some people from the community might pass you the 100th subscriber. What do you do, sir? That would be good. but fair enough, man. I do wish the best for you, and perhaps I'll check it out after the stream. Triple Zen Chateau says, Dingo coin on Hotbit. Doesn't sound like it's going to be in trading view, sir. Not on trading view. Oh, whoops. Hold on. Let's try Dingo, maybe. Not on trading view, sir. Yeah, Hotbit, never seen that on trading view either. So that's way off the deep end in the shitcoin drawer, man. But fair enough. A lot of people have been making a shit ton of money on that kind of stuff. So fair enough. Anyways, Mr. D says QN. I don't know. I'm guessing that means question. Heard you bought Bitcoin during the flash crash. Is it because the validation points are clear at the critical zone? Yeah. I mean, it's just, I don't have to risk all that much to figure out if I'm gonna be wrong on that or not. And I just kind of like it for a long-term potentially area. So that's basically it. Are alt applicable? It's hard. It's hard to say that as a blanket statement because still, my general opinion of most alts, like 90% of alts are just garbage and won't be traded in the next like 5 to 10 years. They'll just become irrelevant. But for the ones that are legitimate, which are the ones that have been showing strength this past year especially, probably yes. But I wouldn't just blindly say that because I wouldn't know. I don't really pay too much attention to the alts, generally speaking. Paul Garrett says, thank you for yesterday's bearish divergence lesson. All good, man. Oh, that was you. Can you check out Matic? Yes, there it is. And that would be an example of bearish divergence right there. That would actually be an example. So I'll actually just go back and briefly touch on this, and let's see. So what you're also going to have on the other side now is potential hidden bullish divergence. You're already seeing that the 4-hour RSI is making lower lows, but price action is operating on higher lows. So how do you confirm this? Well, you need to confirm a local low. You have one over here. Do you have one over here yet? No, you do not. What would essentially make that so above about 240, even on like a 2-hour closure, or especially a 4-hour would do it. And then yes, you will have hidden bullish divergence, which will imply moves back up to your prior highs this round and beyond. But yeah, you confirmed your local high right here, move back down to the 21 is completely fine. Just a couple drives right there, so fair enough. But if you're going off the 12-hour, which is what I think you were doing yesterday, you do technically have that present for today, and you could confirm it with the closure below, 220. So that would be the risk on something like this. Even then, though, I don't really think there would be a hell of a lot of downside. Maybe back down to like 210 to 205 region, but. Yeah, difficult run right there. Again, when you have an event-driven sort of move, I'm very hesitant to be reliant on tentacles. Yeah, they can help with like major areas, but it's hard to trust indicators into events like that. I mean, event psychology kind of takes over. And again, I don't know the specifics of this event that's, I think, happening today. But if it's some sort of a hype event, it's probably going to sell off if that is indeed the case, which I don't know. I'd be relying on someone in the comment section here to what's it called, aware me of such. Olsav says, can't start watching Krown's TA without the bell first. Indeed, man, we got to ring the bell for the start of the day. When I actually traded on the floor, there was there wasn't like a real bell. There was a sound, like a soundboard of a bell that would go off. It's kind of silly, man. It's pretty silly. Actually, someone from the floor actually hit me up last night on Instagram. It's pretty interesting to see, man. Like a lot of, I guess, some people down there found my channel. It's kind of interesting, man. Cool shit though. Skusa says Sand long-term and medium-term time frame. Sure, 4-hour daily, weekly. All right, Sand. So this is Sandbox. I think we looked at this one yesterday for the first time in a while. I think it was corrective at best, and still say corrective at best. This one still follows a downtrend, and actually this one is playing out a bit of a descending triangle, which is a bearish redistribution pattern. Will be confirmed alongside a technical target to the downside below 492 on a 4-hour closure. Probably looking at moves back down around your prior $4 lows in this case. Again, if Bitcoin breaks down, you probably see this one break down as well. We do see several altcoins, however, not doing that. And how would you confirm this one actually reversing on the other side? Well, we could actually move down the resolution point from 609 now down to here to about 570. Let's go to a daily really quickly. Yeah, not super hot on a daily to be fair, but I would still wait for the resolution. Should I record a video on this one? Yeah, sure, why not? We should follow up on Sand. All right, so here we have Sandbox, symbol SAND versus the dollar, and I believe we called a high on this one or a major top on this one back on over here, not on the actual top, but on probably this one right here in November, late November that is, and ever since then it's just been, well, down. Now, here's the thing, it is in a bearish redistribution pattern right now in the form of a descending triangle, and that would have a technical target. I'm gonna imagine somewhere around your Saturday wick lows. Yeah, actually pretty much right around there at about $4 to 410 to 415, but that's only actionable or only validated in my book as if you close a 4-hour delta below about 491.5 or 492. Until then, you know, it's probably going to do whatever Bitcoin does. And I would call the reversal on this one above 571. Above 571, even on like an hourly closure, I would be looking for a short-term continuation all the way up to a 620, very likely a short-term pullback there, and then continuation back up to your prior range highs, which is in the upper low $7 region over time. But for right now, this one is under pressure. It is showing more bearish things, certainly. Daily. Yeah, daily, not super hot right there, but I wouldn't say it's like the worst thing of all time. Obviously, this one can afford a pullback when it went to the moon and beyond, but that's the problem. You went to the moon and beyond, not really spending any time consolidating on the way up. So that is the problem. It's fun on the way up, terrifying on the way down. And yeah, right now this one is certainly under pressure. So just be aware of where the invalidation is. Again, above, what was it, 571.5. Until that level's hit, this one is risky, I do suspect. But we do see some altcoins pulling through, so you know that would be a little bit of hoping right there. Maybe we just go briefly check out momentum oscillators just to see, although I don't trust them too much in a situation like this, just because, you know, trend does take over in these situations. Obviously, full hour is nosediving below 532, so that's not great. Bi hourly is gonna freshly turn down below 528. Also not good. Hourly is also down below 536, and daily is down as long as it's below $6. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say this one's a little more likely to go to the downside than not. Still would want to see confirmation of that one. It does look like short term it wants to test back down at minimum somewhere around about $5 low. So hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for Sandbox, sir. Mario Giancini, very beautiful name, man. It's always like when I'm guessing you're Italian, they have like singing names, I think. Been watching since Jan. Fuck yeah, man, that's awesome. Well, hey, sweet, man. Then it's a pleasure to meet you, I guess, officially. You're a stream man. That's really kind of you. Matic on the hourly and 4-hour. Yeah, I think we kind of already beat this horse to death over here, but if you really want to go over the hourly, we could do that. You know, again, base at about, on an hourly, about 220 or so. Below there, got a bit of short-term problems back down to about 210 to 205 region. Until then, it does actually look a little more on the bearish side short-term, to be fair, on the hourly. 4-hour, I would give it a chance to bounce here first, which I do think holds a little more weight. To buy hourly, same thing, basically. Same thing right there. I really don't have too much to add on to this one. Again, event-driven times, I'm really not going to be, it's not wise to be reliant on technicals in my experience. So, and I believe this is the one that has its event today. Again, I don't actually know. I just remember reading a comment or two about that. So perhaps that's relevant. Perhaps it's not. Maybe it's a completely different name. I don't know. But if that is the case, I really wouldn't trust TA at this moment in time. It does have its limitations, of course. Many limitations, in fact. Just a little bit less limitations than perhaps fundamental analysis. Mr. D says, guys, smash the like button and subscribe on your notifications and join membership. It's all good, man. I do appreciate that, man. I really do appreciate that. And most importantly, I appreciate that's organic too, man. It's it's a cool thing to see, man. It's a cool thing to see. I never want to feel like I'm like shoving shit down people's throats because, well, I mean, most people, like, if you need to be convinced about something, it's probably not a good fit to begin with. But yeah, Bitcoin, not the picture of strength at this moment in time. But well, you always got to pray for the best for good old Bitcoins right there. Colin Penrod says, "Hey Krown, DAR." Okay, remember you asked about this one yesterday. Let's see where this one's at. DAR. Okay. And you're on a 4-hour and a daily. In another altcoin that did complete its short-term reversal, has not traded all the way up to its $3 or actually no, it's going to be more around here, so I was wrong about that. It should have been 285. Got up all the way to 277. Not bad there, but here's the thing. Where's your neckline out of this breakout right here? That's going to be right at 240. So as long as you're above 240, I do look at this one as still, you know, as still valid, I suppose. Problem is that you really don't want, it's okay to pull back into your neckline, but it's usually not the best sign, to be fair. Let's see, what about an hourly? Hourly's still okay. Probably does test back down to the neckline, but I just want to see it hold. Don't want to see any closures below there, even on like a 2-hour. Otherwise, I'm probably looking for moves back down to 215. Until then, probably gives one more try to the upside, somewhere around about 285 or so. Daily, same thing. Daily's actually okay here. Yeah, I would still be biased towards this one, trying another move towards the upside. Maybe the 12-hour is going to help a little bit more with some more history. Yeah, I think that would be okay. In this case, it would look a lot better with just a 4-hour closure above the 55. In this case, which is 260, and then yes, I'd be looking for that move officially to 285 to 290ish region, and then at that point, you know, it does look like you're going to perhaps be putting in a higher low on the daily. Although really not much history to be going off of here, so that is kind of the problem with these things. Not really getting much from the daily, unfortunately. Zeko says, "Hey man, what's up, man? Can you check out IMX on the 4-hour and daily?" Sure. Symbol IMX USD. This is a mutable X token on KCoin, I'm guessing is the one to go to. Not great. Giving up that bounce real fucking fast. I don't think that we have looked at this one in a few days here. Yeah, I don't have a chart for it either, so I'm guessing maybe haven't. Hold on. I do recognize this name. Maybe Huobi is the one. Yeah, Huobi. All right, we got rejected at whatever I had right here, so that's not great. And this is what I fear is going to happen to a lot of altcoins if Bitcoin does turn down and show weakness. This one very likely trades back down towards 510 and tries for a short-term bounce there, but this is not great. Not great as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, hourly's kind of wrecked right there as well. Daily is a full-on reject. Man, that's fucking ugly. Oh God. Yeah, man. I think you got a little bit of short-term downside right there, man. Not great, man. Not great. Why should I be afraid? Well, you might get one of these shish kebabs in your Angus right there, so there could be a little bit of that action. I don't know. Should he be brought out again? Should the hazing begin yet again? Hey, what's up, Mr. Jack? Nice avatar, man. Nice little avatar change up there. Matic, Ethereum, 4-hour and daily. Yeah, I'm curious to see where this one is. Is it still outpacing Ethereum? Let's see. Maybe I think what was it? Huobi is the one to go to. Yeah. No, I still like this one. It is going to get a pullback here, but hold on. I know I have a chart for this one somewhere. Maybe Bittrex. Yeah, there we go. It is going to get a pullback here. It does look like, but even down to 50,000 is completely fine. We haven't necessarily hit. Okay, we did start to hit us around the 60,000 territory. It's getting pretty damn close there. I do think that you still have maybe one more spike up there, somewhere around there, and then I'd be looking for the pullback on the daily as far as that goes. On the 4-hour, short term, very likely to pull back a little bit more. Anywhere down to 50,000 even is completely fair game. Just another higher low on the 4-hour. You are seeing some bearish divergence drives populate there. So I'm a little bit more biased towards a bit of a short-term continuation of that pullback. Yeah, Bitcoin's pulling back a little bit more there too. Is that what you should be afraid of? Maybe it should be. Maybe it should be, sir. But yeah, short-term pullback, still long-term. I'm going to like this one a lot as long as you're above about 48,000 BDRLs, I guess, is the dominating currency right there. Cool. Toby Liang, hopefully I'm saying that properly. Can you check out paid versus Ethereum? Sure. Let's see. Yeah, it's on TradingView. We can do that. Paid right here. Weird looking chart. Definitely downtrending over a long period of time versus Ethereum. This is your real chart, which is just fucking atrocious. So there's that to be aware of. But are you having a bit of a short-term reversal here? I guess. I don't fucking trust it, man. I'll tell you that. Really don't trust it. But I guess you can look at it as a reversal as long as you're above about this number here, 1,656,000. Something like that, man. Below there, problems. Above here, great. I guess you can make excuse for it as long as you're above that region. It does still look like, I guess, a bit of reversal, but forgive me for not being excited about a chart that looks like absolute fucking death dildos in my face, man. Terrible. Big problems below this level right here, too. Like, big fucking problems, man. I'm just be looking at this as your next macro low or high. The comforting thing, or not so comforting, depending upon your opinion here, is that you don't have hidden bearish divergence there, so there's that. You also don't have it on a 5 day, so I feel like I'm feeding you some hopium, man. It's pretty fucking ugly, but hey, I should treat it as a reversal as long as you're above this region right here. I don't feel that way myself, but technically speaking, yeah, it would be a reversal as long as you're above there. And it'd look a lot better, at least for some short-term continuation, maybe back up to about this high right here from your 10th of September spike, back above your range. How's that? 19377, whatever the hell that number is. Hopefully that was helpful though, sir. BK says CRV USD. Yeah, let's check on this one. Has this one been holding up well? Because it did have that nice structure in from a week ago. Yeah, it still holds the range low, so that's fine. So if Bitcoin comes back down, let's say anywhere around 47 or 47.5, you probably find this one somewhere back down around about 350 again. I don't really have anything new to add here. As long as you're above 350, good. Let me get rid of this because, obviously that move already played out. Got a little bit of a front run on that 665 region. I mean, we got up to about 645, so not perfect right there, but fair enough. Anyways, I do look at this one and still put in a bit of a complex low. As long as you're about 350 on a daily closing basis. 4 hour, could probably do the same thing, maybe a little bit lower than that for a continuation. Let's call it 440 in this case, would be problematic. Until then, I look at this one as probably put in a bit of a complex reversal right here. 5 day, I don't really, again, you're above your macro breakout region, so I do have to respect that long term towards, sideways here is good for the Bulaws. Obviously, short term, it does look like it wants to test some downside, to be fair, but again, don't confuse testing downside with full on reversal here. Until then, sideways between about 350 and 510 is actually good for the Bulaws. Just probably takes its time and actually move this resolution point down significantly towards about actually more like $5 even in this case. But yeah, probably going to take some time right there. Weekly, do we have anything new here? Nah, not really. Same thing as a 5 day. You're above your macro breakout region. I'm always going to respect that. Just takes its time and probably shouldn't overcomplicate it anything more than that. Now, below the downside resolution point, big problems. I mean, you probably see this one back down to like 260 to 270, but I'd give it a chance first, man. It's been acting as one of the more strong ones, to be fair. The Golby file says track USD daily, weekly. Sure. On KuCoin. Okay. I think my voice is okay. I think it's okay. I might need some tea a little bit later though. Anyways, daily, weekly on track. I guess we go to Bittrex for this thingy, and there is a weekly on this, so that's a surprise, but that's okay. That's a good surprise, I guess. On daily, do we see anything different? Looks like a fucking slinky toy, man. Looks like it wants to come back down towards your, I'm guessing that's Saturday low or 6th of December low, at about $1 even. Not great. Short-term time frames, weak as all shit, and I would not, this is not relevant for this time frame. If on a low-term time frame, I would not call this one resolved or reversed to the upside as long as you're below 140. This is ugly. Hidden bearish evidence right there, breaking back into the bearish control zone, volatility turning up. This is what you typically look for on an actual breakdown, but I'd give it a chance first. I shouldn't call like a full-on breakdown just yet until you actually close below 114 and a quarter. Below there, yeah, you got at least a wick fill from Saturday or for the 6th, which is 105 or $1 even, and then pray to Bula Jesus at that point, because I would really like to see a bounce around there. To be fair, if that invalidation is hit to begin with. Andy Morales says, Krown, how is that poke bowl? I don't know what you mean, man. I actually don't eat anything other than basically steak and blueberries and kiwis. Actually, it's pretty damn good, man. And I skipped Pablo's. Hey, what's up, Pablo South? Holy shit, man. Can you please check Nasdaq hourly and daily? Yeah, let's definitely check this one out. We kind of looked at it a bit earlier, but we can go a little bit more onto the timeframes that you were requesting, and I'm going to take a sip of this water as well. Oh, I see African Crypto Warlord and Bear Nutrition. All right, now we got a full moderator crew here. This is good. It's good. Okay, Nasdaq hourly and daily. Let's go to the hourly first. Hourly is actually looking like it's putting in a higher low right here and wants to trade back up towards 16,400. So that'd be a little more hopium on the side for Bitcoin as well, to put in something resembling a higher low above 47 or 47.5 or so. Still, resolution will not be had until you actually close back above 16,400. At that point, I would be looking for this one to trade all the way up short term towards 16,500 or so. I think we got a nice gap fill back on over here, actually. Sorry, no, there is no gap, but somewhere back around this range high. Until then, I wouldn't call this one like in trouble as long as you're above about 16,250. Below there, I do look for this one to shadow down towards 16,100 to 16 even or so. Daily, pretty much the same thing here. Yeah, pretty much the same thing. Same thing there. I guess a little more on the Hopium side as well. We do see that the Joule signal is actually to the upside right now and is supported by DMI. So that'll obviously be more on the bullish side here. But I'm not really seeing anything else that's making me think that it's really likely to play out. I really want to see volatility like expanding more. And I mean, technically speaking, the movement, or sorry, yes, the movement after on this one does still maintain a positive slope, but man, that's a close one right there. And realistically, with those Joule signals, you want to see volatility expanding alongside that. But yeah, I'd actually be looking at the hourly as probably the more interesting one here, just because you're so close to it. And the hourly looks like it wants to test to the upside. So fair enough. And volatility is about to tick up there too. It's very, very contracted. Let's see. David Fung says, hey, Krown, what's up, man? Appreciate the daily streams. All good, man. Instead of asking for Matic like 99%, thank you. Appreciate that, man. HNT USD on the hourly and daily. Got it. Okay, this is Helium. Got it. Not great. Are you sure you want me to look at this one, man? Yeah, not great here, man. Got the same sort of formation going on as several other charts that we've seen today. In this case, your base is where? Your base is right here at 28.90. Your declining highs are coming in right here, so you are within the context of a descending triangle. So this would be reversed and actually looked at as, well, good, with targets back up towards, 41 to 42 bucks, I guess. With any sort of a 4-hour closure back above 34 bucks. Until then, basing along this region right here is not great, and 4-hour RSI is showing hidden bearish divergence. I still wouldn't call it resolved until you close below about 28.90, and at that point, looking for a wick fill of your 4th of December lows. I know I didn't even address the time frames that you're asking for, but I think that's the most obvious chart right there. Yeah, not really don't like that rolling over action, man. It's not usually a good thing. That would be distribution, sir. But fair enough. Whatever Bitcoin does, this thing's gonna follow as well. So, Bitcoin, are you still dancing around 49? It looks like so. Here's the thing: like, what are most alts gonna look like if Bitcoin comes down to say about 47 or 47.5? That's what I'd be asking myself right now. I'm looking at an hourly right here. Yeah, there's no such thing as reversals. I wouldn't even use 50,700, even though that would start to force up a lot of momentum on sort of short term. I'd still be more on the conservative side myself, because this is the big one right here, that 52,000 rejection. Cool. Jack Jansen says Veracity USD 4. Gotcha. Veracity USD. Okay, on Trex, and see a daily over here. Okay, you said a 4-hour. Oh, you just said a 4-hour. Okay. Huh. Interesting one. You do technically have a higher low right now in the making. That would also imply anywhere below 3.85 cent. Yeah, 3.85 cent essentially. Problems, and very likely retest around your 6th of December lows right here. Until then, I would not call this one a confirmed reversal just yet until you actually trade back above your rejective highs from 2 days ago on the 7th of December right here. At that point, I would not be targeting this area right here. That is not relevant. I'd be targeting somewhere around this range here, somewhere around about 6.2 to 6.3 cent or so. Would be okay. But I feel like I'm feeding you some opium, man. Hidden bearish divergence right there. A couple drives, and that's going to look pretty ugly, especially below about 3.85 cent daily. Yeah, well, I guess there's always a chance, right? I mean, the weekly is bouncing off 55 as well, so I should be looking at this as a major bottoming area, but that doesn't mean that we can't come back down and test around it. So still, I'd wait for validation of that move before getting actually bearish on it, but you can see the setup in front of your face, of course. BK says UFO versus wrapped Ethereum. Gotcha. Okay, this thingy. Yeah, I remember this thingy. I remember we called a pullback a while ago, and it's pulled back. It's pulled back quite a fair bit. A little bit too much right there, man. Anyways, you're on a 4-hour daily and weekly. Not much of a weekly going to be here, as this thing's only been around for not even half a year, it looks like. But I'm looking for bases around 40 beta rolls or whatever the hell that currency is. Short-term time frames like a 4 hour. I really don't trust structure on something like this, but if you put a gun to my head and said Krown, do it. Above 72, good. Below basically where you're at now, bad. I guess if you want to be super conservative, then you'd say 49, and at that point I'd be looking for that next move down to I think it was 30. Was it 32? 38, which I mean are actually kind of big numbers when you have small margins like this. Weekly kind of looks wrecked for what it's worth, but again, not really much going off right there. 5-day also looks a little bit wrecked as well. I look at this one as quite bearish here, as long as it's below 72. But you know, whatever direction Bitcoin goes, this one very likely follows as always. Above 72, this one actually starts to look okay again. At least I'd be looking for some life back up to like 86 to 90ish region, and then I want to come back to it after that. But for right now, it's kind of showing the hero pattern. The hero pattern. It's not a real pattern, by the way. It just looks like an H is what I'm trying to say. Steve Ramos, welcome to the cave as well, sir. Adventure Buddy says, hey, thanks, man. Oh, nice. It's busting on through, my fucking man. Thank you for that positive message, man. That's really comforting. Thank you. Elliot Diggs says, good morning, brah. Good morning, sir. Can you show how to fib extension correctly? There's a million ways to do it, man, and a million correct ways to do it as well. But basically the way that I like to do it is when you're in a market that is trending towards new ultimate. So you're in uncharted territories, essentially. That's when I like to employ the Fibonacci extensions, and all that I'm doing is I'm just taking the range of your prior consolidation and then looking at the extension targets from that. That's all. Only in the context of blue sky breakouts, essentially new ultimates. Other than that, you know, don't complicate it anything more than it needs to be. And there's a lot of different ways to do Fibonacci's. You know, if you really want to learn Fibonacci's, you should check out my friend Fibo Swanee. He's great. He's amazing. And he's on Twitter at Fibo, Fibo, Swanee, Swanny. He's amazing, actually. And tell him I sent you as well. No, just... He's really fucking good. He's really, really good. He uses them in a little more of a nuanced way than myself. David says, Krown, I asked this question yesterday but couldn't find an answer. How do I confirm bullish or bearish divergence? We actually went over this one yesterday, but I guess you weren't there when we did it. Someone actually asked earlier as well. Again, bullish or bearish divergence is the secondary thing. What's the primary thing is confirming local highs and local lows, which you did ask as well. So how do you confirm a local low or local high? Well, if you want the easy, like foolproof, idiot-proof way, put it on a line chart. Look at where the big stop and reverse points are. All you need is this. Okay, where's your stop and reverse points? Right here, right here, right here. You don't have one right here. So you have one right here. This is a low. This is a high. This is a low. This is a lower. It's not even really a high right there, but it would be a lower high, to be fair. So what do you have right now? You have technically a bit of a short-term uptrend, but where does it get reversed? Below here. Anyways, you're looking for essentially, you know, 2 pairs at minimum, as much as 4 times to 5 times you will see ever so often. Very, very rare, however, anything more than 3 realistically. But for example, right here, you have 2 local lows right here and right here. Okay, stop and reverse, stop and reverse. All right. So once you see something like that, then you can go into your RSI oscillator and see if there's anything resembling divergence right there, which there's not, actually. So there's no divergence right there, but basically divergence is exactly as it implies. There is a divergence between your momentum oscillator, in this case the RSI, and your highs and lows. So if you're printing higher highs and then the RSI oscillator is showing lower highs and your momentum is waning, and so you look for a pullback, sometimes even a reversal. Let me find an example even of that, because we don't even have one right there. Yeah, and also we're going to shut off the super chats after this moment as well. Yeah, okay, I can pin that. Did you post it? Okay, let me just see. Where is it? Where the fuck is it? Just waiting for it to pop up. It usually takes a few seconds. There we go. Lovely. Thank you for that. All right, sweet. Yeah, again, we'll read all the super chats that were posted before this moment, but not the ones after, sir. But yeah, man, your real question boils down to, you know, how do you confirm local lows and local highs? It's basically to stop and reverse points, and you don't want to see them like too close to each other, and they should be obvious. Like, that's the rule of thumb. They should be obvious. If they ain't fucking obvious, it's probably not one. It's probably not one. So that's usually a good way to kind of get over that hump. And I actually do have a video I think I have a video on this channel, and if I don't, I definitely have it in the members section on this channel, in the join button thingy, on how to look at highs and lows and trend, and from there it should be pretty damn easy. Anyways, Ben0613 says, hi Krown, XCAD, short to medium term. Okay, XCAD. All right, this thingy, CAD token. Short to medium term. All right, I'm guessing that means like a 4-hour and hourly. Short term, looking for a little bit of downside here. Looking for this one to test back down somewhere around about 750. Yeah, this one kind of looks like Matic short term. Yeah, funnily enough, very similar structure as well. So Matic probably comes down a little bit short term as well. So that's your 4-hour. I don't know if you're medium term. I don't know what that means to you, to be honest with you, but probably kind of the same look here. Looking for a bounce somewhere around about 740 or so. Still long term good. You know, I respect the trend right here, obviously. Very, very close to an upside resolution. Just want to see it actually close above about 850. Until then, short term corrective. Cool. Dissident says, hey man, all good, brother. Bitcoin USD weekly doomsday scenario, Wyckoff reaccumulation scenario 2, ranging between 60 and 30,000, and a resolution around Q4 2022. Thoughts lines up with Jason's cycle lengthening theory. Jason's cycle lengthening theory. Yeah, man, he's good. I don't really know what the fuck you're saying though, because it's quite discombobulated, no offense, but okay, so I'm guessing you're saying you're looking at a Wyckoff schematic or something like that. Wyckoff schematics, by the way, are just like kind of guides. They don't need to be exactly like that. But basically, okay, you're calling this like one massive reaccumulation. I mean, that would be that would be the ascending triangle that I'm kind of postulating over here, which I think I have on this chart. Yeah, on this chart right here. Yeah, that could work. I don't know if it would necessarily have to break out in Q4 2022. I'm actually postulating something more along the side of end of Q1 to beginning of Q2 2022, somewhere around here. So that'd be February, March, April region, something like this, and this would be a reaccumulation. So yeah. I want to really get away from like trying to like forecast price action that far away, because you know, while a lot of people seem to really like these LARP lines here that I call them, you have to understand that they're just a guide, and price action can take so many different forms. It's technically random in a lot of ways too, so it's not wise to get in the habit of doing. And a lot of the time, whenever I see people doing that, it's usually a matter of time before they just before it doesn't end all that well. So leave that right there. Joseph Clark says, can you do Dogelon, please? Sure. Dogelon. Well, if you can't tell by the name, it's probably a shitcoin, but we can definitely look at it. Looks like a shitcoin. But it hasn't broken down as much as everything else, so at least you got that. At least you got that, man. Let's see. Let's redo this chart for the daily. Or you did not give a time frame, but I guess you want the daily. Pretty fucking awful as long as you're below 1650, but short term actually has a bit of a potential reversal going on right here. Do you have a higher low on the 4-hour in the making? Where would you confirm this as a short-term reversal, with targets probably up somewhere around 1550, maybe as much as 1650, which would look really good? That would be with a 4-hour just above your prior wick highs of this range, which is 1350. That would look quite good. And this one actually does look like it's putting a higher low right here. So you know what? I should probably not judge this one prematurely here. I can tell you also where I'd get quite bearish on this one. That would be below this potential higher low, which is 1180 or so. At that point, I'd be looking for another retest around your current lows, which is 1000 even, and well, probably some death action after that. But until then, you know, long term, you do have problems here. You do have declining highs, obviously, and you do have the same lows. So it's not great long term, but short term, does it have a little bit of life in it? Yeah, probably yes. Again, this one actually seems to not be trading with Bitcoin. In fact, Bitcoin kind of slinking around here, and that one is showing a little bit of short-term relative strength, which is actually really, really interesting. But still, I'd wait for those range resolutions, just because forgive me for being skeptical about you know, very illiquid and low market cap altcoins. Julio EU says, can you look at SGB USD? Okay. SGB U. Okay, let's try this. No, I can't actually, because it's not on TradingView, unless you're looking at this, but I'm guessing you're probably not, because I'm guessing you're asking about some sort of a crypto, given that you put a USD after it. So yeah, I'm not going to be able to pull it up here unless you're talking about the Saigon Bank for Industry and Trade, on an exchange that I've never heard of actually. Anyways, you're talking about Solo USD as well. Okay, we can try that. I've not heard of this one as well, but maybe it's also not on TradingView, man. Unfortunately, it seems like you're in like extremely new coins, which is cool. You know, that's a different game, but they're not going to be on TradingView, unfortunately, which means that I can't look at them. So I apologize about that. If you want to look at some that is on TradingView, just tag Elsa, and we can do that. Let's see, Joseph Clark, Danny Chart Dogelon. Man, it's like you guys are reading each other's minds. Oh, no, that's just you again. Oh man, I should probably let you know. I'm guessing that you probably got confused or something because I didn't read your chat immediately. You have to understand that we read the chats in the order that they're given. So yeah, I do apologize if that wasn't clear. But yeah, I mean, we just went over that one, so probably good there. Crypto Ricardo says, good day, mate. Good day to you as well. Kin USD on the 4 hour and daily. Okay, Kin. All right. KuCoin maybe is the one to go to. And you're looking at a 4 hour and a daily. This is actually rather interesting. Hold on. Let me just double check that this is, maybe we have a chart with more history. That would be interesting. FTX. FTX actually has more history, which is very, usually you don't see that. Anyways, you're looking at a 4 hour and a daily. Gotcha. Daily looks like it's put in a bit of a low right here, and you do have a higher low. This actually is quite similar to a lot of the other ones that we see in a long-term range. And I must have charted this one like ages ago. Don't know what the fuck I charted this for. Oh, okay, it was on the weekly. Okay, that makes sense. Well, let's just go do it for the daily in 4 hours you requested. This is actually good for a short-term reversal and playing back up to your prior range highs. In this case, your prior range high is going to be right around, well, technically it shouldn't be there. It should be right around here because that was your, yeah, rejection right there and rejection right there. So that is proper. I actually look at this one as good as long as you're above 7,800. Now, I don't think it's going to immediately go to the top of your range right here, but sideways and up is probably the name of the game. And long term, as long as you hold the range low. So this is actually going to be implied as a bullish resolution. The place to get excited about is obviously above the range highs at 13,450. At that point, I'd be looking for a retest of your August highs way back on over here. And above there, I mean, things look really, really good actually for the long term, which this one actually has quite a long-term chart. Oh, it's a 2017 shitcoin that's never even gotten close to its 2017 highs. And here's what the real chart looks like. No! Motherfucker, man!
Why did you do this to me? Why did you do this to me, Sky? I thought I was looking at a great chart. And you know what? On the short term, it is. It is a great chart. But god damn it, what the fuck is that?
Sir, my fear is that despite the short-term bullishness, you might still be down 92.5%. That's a problem. That's a problem. It is actually showing relative strength here, though, to be fair. So it probably does, but it probably does some busting action, to be fair. Give me some of that bust. What's funny about busting? Chicky77 says, hey, Krown. Hey, man, all good, brother, all good. Can you comment about pros and cons of set it and forget it with a grid bot during sideways price action? I don't know what you mean by grid bot. I'm guessing that's like a type of bot. I haven't traded with trading bots since I was actually like a market maker authorized trader. And the only reason why I traded with a bot algo there is because you have to in order to make market. I mean, everyone makes it. Everyone makes markets with basically like some sort of an algo nowadays. Very few businesses actually even done on the floor. Anyways, a grid bot. I don't know what that is, so I probably can't speak directly towards that. What I can say though is that, well, here's the thing. What I can say is probably the most practical thing. Look. What you should do is you should not trust my opinion on something that I have no experience with, which in this case, that would be very true. What I would suggest is that, you know, maybe go for a trial period if they offer something like that, and then back test the results. And if it is good to your liking over a period of time, hopefully during a period of high volatility, because, you know, naturally that's going to happen at some point in time. Well, then perhaps consider it, you know, once you actually have the data. And Bitcoin's showing some girthy green dildos. Show it to me, baby. I'm going to get rid of that goddamn bear. Jesus. And there she goes, 50,000 back above. But that's not really going to do much here. But hey, let's see. Hold on. I want to go back to our short-term time frame momentum also just to see if we are going to see anything flip up. 50,350 is the magical number on the 4 hour, and that's going to close in about 28 minutes. So we actually will be able to see this one together. So this is good. If that does happen, that's going to be the next good thing in the short-term time frames, and that will flip me, well, make me a little bit more optimistic for the short term. Until then, still kind of the same shit here. All right. Let's see. Vince says, when do you expect Matic USD to hit the 2.65 target? Problem is that if it is the event-driven thing that I'm led to believe it is, then well, probably going to get negated. But 265, I mean, didn't you already kind of hit around there? I'm pretty sure you already hit around 265, man. Let's just double check. Yesterday, 260. 260 is pretty fucking close, man. If it hits 265, I don't think it's going to stop there. That's the thing. It's like if you're waiting for that, I think you saw that move. if you see it take that level out, you're probably looking at a move back around your prior all-time highs, which is about 280 to 290-ish region, for what it's worth. Yeah, it looks like full market gets to bounce here as well. All right, Bitcoin, show me those girthy green dildos. Show me those girthy green dildos, baby. Hold on. I have an idea. Wait.
Show me those girthy green dildos. This is Jesus, and I want to see those girthy green dildos in my face. I want to see this back above 50,500, try those short-term benchmarks or Sugeta, and then pass down through 52,000.
Nice hat. Stank Robert. Is that your real name? Hello, sir. I Stank Robert. I Stank Robert. That's a sentence. that's a sentence. All right. Sir. Hello, sir. I Stank Robert. What is that? Is that your name? Is that? I'm not making fun of your name, but I'm just curious if that's the sentence. I'm led to believe that that is indeed your name. Time USD on the daily and weekly. Sure. I Stank Roberts. Mr. Stank, we have a problem here. Seems to be no time. There is no time. Maybe try it. No. I think we can only look at it versus Ethereum or Bitcoin, and you probably want to look at it versus Ethereum. I'm guessing it trades on Uniswap, and that's all that you can look at it. Man, I don't fuck if I know on this one, man. It is in a bit of an uptrend here, but this is an hour. Let's go to a daily. Well, it's in an uptrend, but this is a completely unhelpful chart. I can tell you that. I don't have an opinion on this chart, man. If you put a gun in my head, I'm going to say the obvious. It's in an uptrend. I remain, I guess, bullish on it as long as you're above 0.0126 butyrols. Until then, it's a bizarre chart, but hey, if we give it the benefit of the doubt, it's good. Probably pulls back short term to 0.0147 or so, but just looking for higher lows there and continuation of trend. Yeah, actually quite good. Just very illiquid, it would seem. I don't know, man. Trade this one at your own peril, but it's on Time X Exchange. I thought that was like a watch company. Now doing cryptos. All right. Oh, there he is, King Cosmic. Hello, sir. Peaceful day ahead. I've been seeing a lot of Henlos recently with the Golden Retriever channel. Anyways, it's a really good channel, honestly. Like, it's very pleasurable to be watching. Anyways, you want to look at SPY. I think we kind of actually opened up with this one today, but we can just briefly go back to it. So SPY is actually charging back up towards the 4,700 region. We did get the higher low right here on both SPY and Nasdaq. So they are showing relative strength, or not relative strength. They are the strength. And I'm probably looking for this one to pop back up towards 47.10 highs right here. You know, I actually did think that there was going to be a pullback first, but did we get that one yesterday? Hold on. I have 46.68 and a wick down yesterday to 46.71, but why doesn't it look like that on an hourly? Oh, because I'm using that low right there. That's why. But what about? Okay, I see. Well, I guess as long as you're above 46.69, I guess it's a continuation first rather than not. I mean, this is a continuation formation right here, to be fair, but I would still be cognizant of this level right here. Look, below 46.69, this one does very likely play back down to the daily 9, which is 46.40 to maybe as much as 46.20, and that would very likely bode poorly for Bitcoin with a pullback as well. Until then, you really should be looking for pullbacks from this region. You kind of got it yesterday. Do you fully do it today? I don't know, but uptrend still remains. So as long as the short-term uptrend remains here, I am biased towards at least one more try towards 47.10 or so first, and I'd call a resolution with an hourly closure above about 47.15 towards basically, I mean, next sort of target would be about 47.25, which is basically your all-time high. It's going to look fucking insane, man. Now, long-term, I'm bullish on this. Actually, I do think that this one might even hit 5,000 before end of year. I mean, this is like really good. This is really fucking good here on the weekly. We have another drive of hidden bullish evidence about to populate. The 5-day just closed yesterday, and again, the 5-day can easily come back down to 46.20ish region and be still long-term bullish and very likely printing highs towards 5,000 plus, maybe even by end of year, probably more like Q1 2022. But yeah. Very interesting one right there. No Bitcoin Boolahs! They're giving it away. No, it's a shish kebab. It's a fucking Darth Maul dildo. Let's see. Venom Incorporated says DFI 4-hour weekly. Sure, man. This is the DeFi chain. Actually pretty good on the hourly, but you're on a 4-hour weekly. Actually pretty good on a daily as well. The DeFi chain, pretty good. So I'm gonna write this one down. Resolution with the daily closure basically above your 550 highs, and at that point I'm guessing, do you already have a chart on this one? Oh, I do kind of, but let's actually talk about targets above that. Would be looking at moves towards 650 long term if and when that condition is met. Short term time frames like a 4-hour trending up right now and actually quite good. Invalidation below about 445. Okay, cool. Spencer Smith, there he is, man. Z0ZL0, I'm gay and I want TA. Well, I'm trans for TA right now. Raven, please. Raven. Oh, man. This is a 2017 shitcoin. I remember this one. Raven coin. Raven. Great fucking name for a crypto. Great fucking name. Wow. What? Is it snowing?
Why is it so dark?
Oh, well, that's because we live in Finland and the sun still ain't up and it's almost 10 a.m. Wow, that is one fucking piece of shit of a chart. At least it did take out its 2017 highs, so there's that. I don't know what time frame you're looking at here, man, but I guess I'll give you the... Well, here's the thing. I guess a lot of things in this market right now are putting in higher lows, or at least something resembling a low. In this case, I guess I treat this one as such as long as you're above 8.6 cents, and that looks okay. I would be a lot more obvious with the move back above 9.7 cents with targets back up towards, 11 cents or so over time, and that would look a lot better. But man, this is... You don't have to trade this, but fair enough. I think you're mining it sounds like. Oh, fair enough. So you're probably, it's just, I guess, free money to you, or I guess there's also electricity costs, but yeah, back above, what was this, 7th of December highs, it would look okay for a continuation back up to your prior range highs, like somewhere around 11 cents or so. That'd start to look a lot better. Until then, gonna do whatever Bitcoin does, it looks like, but you might say relatively weak. All right, Bitcoin back above 50. Show me the girthy. Show me the girth, sir. Ramble Rants, appreciate that, man. Thank you for joining the cave. Let's see. Daniel Garcia says Gala USD 4-hour and daily. Gotcha. USD over here on Binance, and actually good on the short-term time frames. We do have a bit of a short-term reversal right here. Yep. And this is actually good for, I think, a lot of things within this market. I just want to double check how many videos I have for today. Maybe I'll record one on this one. Oh my God. 2. I got 2. Do you like that? Are you listening on the headphones and you can hear everything? Oh, no, you're not. Okay, well, fair enough. Anyways, this one actually is put in a little bit of a move right here. I still want to see it actually above the range highs. Otherwise, it is still considered risky here still. But that would be 56 cents. Above there, I'd look for this one to travel up all the way back to 65 cent region, maybe even higher than that over time. Obviously, your big problems are below about 44 and a quarter. That's going to be very ugly. Probably back down to like 35, 36 cents. But until then, looks like it's put in a bit of a higher low right here. Again, kind of an issue when you go to the moon. You don't really build up too much support on the way down, but this is more of a bouncy area than not, to be fair. So I respect that. Crypto Bro says Hex USD on the weekly. Oh man, please don't hate me for this, man. Look, I always have to say this anytime we talk about Hex. I was bullish on this thing from 2 cents to 50 cents. Okay, I'm not a full-on Hex hater. All right, I'm just looking at the fucking charts. It's bad. Sorry. You have a monthly reversal. Look, there's going to be bounces along the way, and it's probably going to bounce. I mean, I've been saying it's probably going to bounce relatively soon for like the last 10 cents. There's been no bounce, no reasonable bounce, to be fair. You just made another lower low, so that's really bullish. That's really great. Extremely bearish long term, as long as you're below 28 cents right here. So any sort of bounces into lower highs below that, and I'm still looking at long term. I think you probably have a greater probability of bottoming out somewhere just around 10 cents even, which you're pretty close to 12 cents thus far on the lows. Long term, however, if we're talking about like a macro low, here's the problem with your monthly, man. Where's your real monthly base? You're not gonna like it, or you're not gonna like me. But again, well, I shouldn't even ask for mercy on this one. I know what the Hex crew is going to do. There are some good people in the Hex crew, though. They've been quite nice to me. But I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing over the next 6 months to a year, somewhere down around about 2 to 3 cents, actually. And then probably bases out there for, 6 months to another year, and then maybe gives another try to the upside. But this is your real chart right here. It's not great. This is problematic. This is like a real major reversal, and you did break your parabolic blow off top. And typically when you get something like that, it's it's down for a while at best. Alabama Love says Joseph Clark, my fucking man. Simon Rempel says Rose USD. Thank you from Australia. All good, man. Cool. Rose. This is Oasis Network, I think. Yeah, Oasis Network. Interesting right here. Actually quite interesting. Now my chart's all muddied up, but it's all still relevant, but I'm going to redo it for what you're actually asking for. Let's go to the weekly just really quick here too. Wow, that is interesting. Yeah. Anyways, I do treat this one as putting a bit of a low right here. I'm actually going to record this one. Here we have Rose. I think this one is called Oasis Network, perhaps. Anyways, this one does look like it's actually putting in, or trying to put in, a bit of a higher low, that being above about 23 cents. So that will be invalidation, and that will be where problems do resume. So below 23 and a quarter, I'm looking for big moves back down towards 20 cents even. Very likely another bounce there, and then I want to come back to it. Until then, I imagine the short-term timeframes are trying to reverse here, but not just yet. I wouldn't call it a reversal until you actually get back above about 28.5 cents. Above there, this thing actually will look like a major low right there. That would also be a higher low on the daily, and also likely have, I'm going to guess, hidden bullish divergence, which you will all the way back towards November lows, which is all the way back here. So yes, you would. That would be good. 5-day, same thing. A little bit less confidence inducing to be fair there as well. And weekly, you actually would have hidden bullish evidence if you do put in a reversal here as well. So reversal talk happens above about 28.5 cents. Even on like a 4-hour closure, that would look quite good for short-term moves back up towards 31.5 to 32 cents. Long term, I wouldn't get super excited about it for, runs towards per all-time highs and probably beyond, as long as you're below about 36.40. But for right now, it's showing a little bit of life right here. I do want to offer up a bit of a counterpoint on the other side. Again, whatever Bitcoin does, this one very likely falls. For right now, Bitcoin is playing out a bit of a bounce and might even have a short-term reversal. But we do have hidden bearish divergence right there. You can argue that the easy portion of that move is already played out. However, if you do get the next move on it, you're very likely to test this region, and that is the problematic region. So just don't want to see any sort of closing lower lows below 23.40 or so. Otherwise, otherwise not great. Maybe we just briefly go over here and just see if stochastic momentum agrees or disagrees. And 4 hours is going to be turning back up above 26 cents, which you're actually above right now. And you got 14 minutes and 47 seconds left to go until closure. Hourly is going to turn back up above 26.30 as well, which you are basically within striking distance of. Daily is going to turn back up today above 24.35. So yeah, if those conditions are met, I would actually give this one, I'd give it a chance here actually. Still want to see a resolution above your range highs, but showing a little bit of life, and you can see that there's a bit of a setup. So hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for Rose, sir. Umbrella Corporation says, may I request done on the 4-hour daily? Oh, doggy. Okay, gotcha. D-O-G-E. Gotcha. Oh man, now you done did it. Now you fucking done did it, man. I have a song for this one. Man, people really did not like that song from the Dogcoin hodlers crew. Yeah, they were very unhappy about that. It's only just begun. Wow, it's still a piece of shit chart, but well, let's have some fun with the Dogcoin crew. Critical update for the Dogcoin hodler community. It is now still doing the same thing as before. It is still on the lows, and whilst it might actually even have a little bit of a bounce here, there are a few things to be interested in the short-term time frame. So with that in mind, I would be calling this one to fulfill targets back down towards somewhere around about 11 to 10 cents. If you do break below 16 cents on a 4-hour closure, or even just a wick below there, it's probably not going to be too great. But this one actually does have a potential reversal coming in relatively soon, so I would be looking for a nice upside move with any sort of 4-hour closure above about 18.75 and targeting moves back up towards your prior short-term range highs, that being around 22.5. Higher term timeframes, however, are still very much unchanged. Not really much to be excited about on this very highly esteemed technology. As long as you're below about 29, basically 30 cents, let's call it. I'm going to get rid of this one right here. Don't really need it. Above 30 cents, this thing can actually run once again, go on a little doggy run towards 35 cents and 47 cents respectively over time. For right now, I'd give it a chance here. Obviously, whatever Bitcoin's going to be doing, this one very likely follows as well. I'm just curious to see what it looks like over here from this aspect, and then I can get a bit more of a bias on whether this one's likely to go to the upside or the downside first. And daily stochastic momentum is actually going up as long as above 17 cents, so that is good, as we're currently about a little bit more than half a buck above that right now. 12-hour is also up as long as above 1670, so that is also great. 4-hour is going to turn back up above 18 cents, and hourly is going to turn back up above 1780. So short term, it's going to have a chance here. Just want to see it actually close, even a 4-hour dildo above about 1875 cents. And I'd be looking for short term moves up towards basically the shallow 20s. And then this one would have very likely a nice daily low in, and very likely trades back up towards the upper 20s. Low 30s or so over time. But forgive me for not being the biggest fan of this chart long term. It is quite ugly, and it is quite bearish long term, and very, very weak. So any sort of weakness on Bitcoin, this one very likely does get hit even harder. If Bitcoin does break below, I think it was about 47,000, then I'd be looking for this thing to actually come down well below 10 cents. In fact, all the way down to about 8 cents to 7 cents or so. So this one's kind of in a precarious place right here. I mean, you are already closing on lower lows on your weekly, that you've been having lower highs ever since basically August. So this is not great. The trend long term is down. So I feel like I'm feeding you a lot of hopium, but short term, you know, if you do complete above this reach right here, I would be looking for a rally first before anything else. And we can come back to it after that and judge if it starts to look better or not. But yeah, not super great right here. Not super great. So hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for Doggy Coin. Yeah, nice. Cool. Ramble Rants. Hey, sweet man, you've joined the cave and I've upgraded, sir. Async86 says UOS. Yep, we got that one earlier, so all good there. Justin Tomiak says it was Donnie Big Bags. Yeah, Donnie Big Bags. Thanks, man. Thank you for that. I do appreciate that. Yeah, he seems like a reasonable guy. Cap says $5 Phantasma Soul. Okay. You don't need to use all capitals. And also, is this like a statement, or I don't understand. All right. Well, I guess we'll look at a 4 on daily. Oh, you're saying it's gonna go to $5. Probably not. Well, not anytime soon, I would say. You do have a higher low right here, though. So I do think that short term it probably does pop back up towards $3, but that's quite a fair ways away from $5. I would say $5 becomes reasonable if you do start to close dailies above 350. At that point, you're probably looking somewhere around $5. I mean, it's a long term uptrend, so it probably is good. Yeah, perhaps you will be right, but short term, again, need to see above $3. That starts to look a lot better for the long term. And then, yeah, I can probably play into there. Big problems, however, in no $5 below about 208. That's the big problems right there. And at that point, it's not going to be $5. It's going to be about $1.50. So there will be a 5 in there, but there's going to be a 1 period before there. So it might not be what you're looking for if that were to happen. But for right now, it actually looks okay and probably does pull through. But again, you know, that also probably implies that Bitcoin pulls through as well, which maybe it's doing right here. It's going to fight. It's going to do a little bit of Bitcoin fight in action, Mr. Cap. Mayo says, can you check out GTC USD? Sure, but with no time frames given, don't really know where to go with this one for you. So I'm just going to go with the daily and 4 hour. Yeah, not strong, but again, it's like, do you really look for something to break down if Bitcoin's going to reverse? Probably not. But where is your reversal here? 1420, looking for moves back up towards 17 plus after that. Big problems below $10. Until then, short term, it does look like it might be trying to put in a higher low right here, but not really going up for much, to be fair. So I'll just be looking at the ranges. You know, if I'm looking at the 12 hour, probably comes down first a little bit more, but coming down at $10 isn't problematic. Coming below $10 is quite problematic. Until then, it's actually okay long term. It's actually pretty good long term, to be fair. Moses Greengrass says, here's a poopy coin for you. Thanks. Vibe BTC. Man, if it's actually not on TradingView, so I can't look at it. I fucking hate that terminology. It's a vibe. It's a vibe, bro. What the fuck? What the fuck did I just hear? Yeah, it's not on TradingView, man. Symbol VIB. There is VIB, but I don't think that's what you're looking at, probably. Jack Jansen says Zcash. Zcash. Yeah, man, I remember this one. This Zuko cash. Zuko my dick cash. It's got a similar chart to a lot of the other ones, right? In the sense that, you know, look, if Bitcoin pulls through, you're probably going to see a higher low, something resembling this. Big fucking problems with a closure below about 163.5. Until then, I guess I treat this as a higher low. You will have hidden bullish evidence. Yeah, you will have it ever so slightly available to you. How do you confirm this as a local low? However, need to see a 4 hour closure, specifically above 195. Above there, I look for this one to trade back up towards, you know, 220 to 230-ish region. Until then, you know, it doesn't look so bad if you just look at this right here, but the problem is that this happened. This is the problem over here, but yeah, it doesn't look so bad in the short term, actually. I'd still give it a chance right here. Again, whatever Bitcoin does, this thing falls, and Bitcoin is kind of picking itself up right now, so perhaps we don't need to see got down to about 49 or so. Still hasn't really done anything significant yet, but it's better than going down, obviously. Joseph Clark, welcome to the cave as well, sir. Mr. Dutt says, hey, Krown, can you look at CRV USD? I think we looked at this one earlier, curve. Actually, short term is looking okay here. Yeah, as long as it's above 350, I like it. I just think that this one can trade sideways here for a while, and I wouldn't get too excited about this thing as long as you're below more like 480 to 490 or so. Above there, I look for this one to not play out. This move, you kind of already got that move. I'd be looking for a move towards $7 in the following weeks. Bearish below about 350. You know, you can come back down and test around there. That's fine. Just don't want to see any closures below there. Until then, short term looks okay. Not really, don't really have much to add on to that one. Stembeck says, hi, mister. Hello, sir. Can you check out XRP 4 hour daily? Oh, man. All right. XRP over here. Let's go to a 4 hour daily. Same thing as a lot of the other ones, right? You know, you can see that this one is trying to put in low right here and actually had a better response than most things yesterday. It looks like it actually closed relatively green. Where's your range resolution? That would be above about 88.5 cent. And I'd be looking for moves back up towards your prior range highs in the mid to upper 90s. You know, is this your next major weekly low? Perhaps yes. Yeah, it could be. I mean, it's on the 55. You're likely to bounce here first. So I do think that it probably at least gets a backfill in last week open. So in the mid 90s or so. Where's your problem zone? Where does this one turn to be on full on bearish below 78 cents? At that point, looking for big bad moves down towards 60 cents again and fill that wick. But until then, it's okay. I guess it's okay. And actually a little bit stronger in the short term, funnily enough, compared to some of the other things that we see in this market. So interesting. Very interesting right there. I'm going to take another sippy sip of this water. Gotta. I don't actually need tea, but I do need some more water. Thank you, sir. Did you break a nail? You hit your nail. Nice one. Cool. NYO says, please check out ENS, Ethereum Name Service. Okay. It's quite a name. Very new chart here. Very, very new chart here. So, you are looking at an hourly. Okay, fair enough. That's more relevant than I guess. Range resolution on the hourly, in this case, above about 54 and 34 cents, it looks like. Above there, I do look for moves back up towards about 62 to 63 bucks. Where's your problem points short term? That would be below here, below about 45 and 3/4. For right now, it looks like it's trying to put in a bit of a higher low right there. Again, it looks like it pretty much plays along with whatever Bitcoin does, and Bitcoin's kind of trying the same thing over here. So it's still very much unconfirmed, man. Again, I don't want to be feeding too much hopium right now. There's really not anything super significant on Bitcoin, even from like a short-term time frame resolution, as long as you're below about 52. Even and above 52, I just look for a move towards 53.5 to 54, and that's where things start to look actually pretty good, which is possible. I mean, NAS and SPY pushed on through, so maybe Bitcoin's just a bit of a laggard here. Mr. Endless says, good morning to you, sir. Please look at VET USD short and long. Okay, again, don't know what that means to you, but I'm going to guess it probably means a 4 hour daily, as it does with most people. Short term, looking good above 9.8 cents, looking for moves back up towards, I don't know, this LARP line right here. Actually, that is still, funnily enough, working, but I'm going to get rid of it because it is in the way. Let's see, daily. More bouncy than not, man. Probably plays back up towards 11 cents or so upon range resolution above your short-term time frame region, which was what, 9.8, I think, something like that. Big problems below 8.5 cent. That would imply moves back down towards 8 cent even, and maybe lower than that over time, but at least 8 cents. Till then, I mean, I should let you know you do have some drives of hidden bearish divergence right there, but those don't really become super actionable even for the short-term time frame as long as you're above about 9 cents even. So again, this is the area that I'd be watching right here. Sorry, it's more like 9.8 cents. 9.8 cents to the upside. That starts to look okay. But definitely on the weaker side long term. Yeah, definitely on the weaker side long term. This one played all the way back down towards its summer lows, which is relatively weak. And you don't no longer have this hopium going on here. The hopium right now is something like this, maybe, but that's again hopium, just like it was before. Echoes Yen says Atom on the 4-hour and daily. Okay, it's Cosmos. All right, on Binance, and another bounce off the 55 right there on the weekly. But you're on a daily and 4-hour. Weird one right here. I mean, obviously it's a downtrend. Obviously just printed lower lows right there. You know, kind of incorporate everything else in this market. And, you know, you will have a bear trap here available to you. I think we looked at this one yesterday. It's the same area, actually, 25.5. You got rejected there yesterday. That's okay. Especially seen as you're, you know, consolidating right around it now. Just want to see a closure above it or a wick higher than what you saw yesterday, actually. At that point, I'd be looking for short-term moves up to 28 or so. This one looks a lot better long-term above this lower high, which is 33 bucks. That would start to look really, really good long-term with moves back up towards $40 implied. Until then, you know, big problems below about 22.5, looking for moves down towards just below 20, like 19.5 to 20 bucks or so would not look great. Cool. Thanks for that, Joseph Clark. Appreciate that, man. Let's see. Your camera is out of focus. Yeah, it's probably not perfect there. I probably should do it a little bit better, but it's the best that I can do on my own, man. It's the best that I can do. Kyle McDonald says, hey, Krown, what's up, man? It's McDonald's from frigid Atlantic Canada. Nice. I can relate, although apparently it's way colder there than it is here. Could you scope out KCS on USD? Sure, on the daily and weekly. Even included timeframes. It's amazing. Okay. Daily and weekly, huh? Daily, I guess you look at it as a low formatted around 21 bucks until proven otherwise, so that would be invalidation as well. Weekly, long-term uptrend, which is good. Really, really good. In fact, even had, okay, so we resolved this range over here. We hit the target on it. Yes. All right. So now you're just consolidating after that target was met. That's fine. Yeah, actually look at this one as good. Again, as long as you're above, let's call it $20 even. $20 even on a daily closure. As long as you're doing that, this consolidation is more or less good and, well, can trade sideways for a while. As I imagine we see BBWP come back down below about 25 percentile. That would imply a long-term upside resolution. I would get excited above about 25.78 in this case. That's where I start to look for the new ultimate high party yet again. And of course, if you do hit the problematic area, which is not right there, it's right here, $20, I would be looking for another run towards about 16 or so actually over time. Yeah, it would not look great there, but I mean, for what it's worth, this has actually been quite a constructive breakout. It's above all-time highs. I'd give it a chance here, man. I mean, it's actually not, it's actually, I was expecting some worse. It's not at all, in fact. Cool. Joseph Clark says, sending the super chat because there's 3 minutes left to do so. It's your friend from Alabama. My fucking man. I salute you, sir. I salute you. Good people from Alabama. Very wholesome people. Very, very wholesome people. And good accents as well. Nathan Daniel says, will VET make me a millionaire or do I need to continue stealing catalytic converters daily and weekly? Yeah, we just looked at it earlier. It's definitely not my favorite chart. It's very, very relatively weak. So if you're looking to be a millionaire with VET, then maybe you started with like 10 million and now you're down to $1 million. So you're a millionaire. You made it. You made it, sir. Look, the problem is that, you know, is it going to make you a millionaire? I don't know. Maybe over a long enough time horizon. If that, in that case, you'd probably be asking for like a monthly. But you know, if you're thinking in terms of relative strength to the rest of the market, then it would not be my first pick. No, it's very much relatively weak. Boz, hey, what's up, Boz? Cardano, yeah. Okay, let's do one for Cardano. Let's actually even record a video for this one too. The Carderpia crew. I think they're actually going to get a bounce here. I think it's looking bouncy, man. Cool. Okay, we already played out that. Looks like, yeah, we got a wick down there. Okay, so that's no longer relevant. Here we have Carderpio, symbol ADA versus the dollar, and this one actually is looking like it's trying to put in a low for right now. Now, I would confirm a local low, even on a short-term time frame with a 4-hour closure above 148. Above there, I do look for this one to trade back up towards your prior range highs at about 165 to 170-ish region. That's going to look a lot better on the daily. You are coming off of, you know, extremes here, both on the weekly and the monthly, and you know, this area is just a lot more likely to bounce it than not. This one's been beat up quite a fair bit from its all-time highs. I mean, we see, like, what is this? About 64% to the downside. You know, obviously you can always come down a little bit more, but for right now, I give this one the benefit of the doubt, even though it's extremely fucking weak, relatively speaking. So short term, I just want to see it above that region. Then yes, I do look for a continuation of that rally. I'll tell you where I get a lot more excited about it long term, and I look for this one to return back to former glories. In this case, that means targets back in probably the mid twos. That would be with a daily closure above this rejective high at about $1.72. That starts to look really, really good. But this is a chart only a cryptocurrency investor could love. for what it's worth. So where's your problem points? Where does this one invalidate itself, and where does it become extremely fucking bearish yet again? And probably targets back down to like $1 or so. Well, that'd be with a 4-hour closure, not there, but here 131.5 below there. Big bad problems with moves implied back down towards $1.10 to maybe even $1 even. Actually, it'd be quite nasty. But until then, you know, even Cardano gets a pity bounce, and I think that's probably what we're getting closer to here than not. Let's looking at a 5-day. I mean, the 5-day is still pretty damn ugly, to be fair. Still pretty ugly, to be fair, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a sucker here for thinking that this one's going to bounce. But you know, again, this is why validations matter, and I would not look for a bounce until this condition is met right here. At that point, yeah, it probably has a nice daily low in, and we go do a little bit of traveling. Until then, still in the relatively weak side. The 4-hour does look like wants to test back down around here, so I would be praying to Boolah Jesus for some saving action. I imagine, though, that if Bitcoin pulls through, you probably see this one pull through as well. Problem is, right now, Bitcoin is not confirmed to pull through. So, yeah, and until this level is retaken, technically speaking, this one's bearish on all timeframes and very ugly. I'm just basically giving this one the benefit of the doubt, trying to find reasons for a bounce here. But hopefully that wasn't too much hopium in this case. Just be aware of where the resolution point is until that happens. Technically still pretty damn risky there. Hopefully that's helpful. There you go for Cardano, sir. Actually, hold on. Before we do that, let's go look at stochastic momentum just to see maybe this can help out with the buys here. Hourly turning back up above 136, which it is above right now. Good. 4 hours going to turn up above 142, not above there right now. Daily will remain up as long as above 134, so that is good for now. And 12-hour remains above as long as above 137. So yeah, a little bit more things pointing towards the upside than the downside. So I guess I'd be cognizant of that and favoring that side, but still need to see the actual range resolution confirmed. Sweet. MD says Theta, USD, daily and weekly. Sure. Sorry, just daily. Theta, sure. Okay. Let's actually type this one in properly. Theta, USD. We're already 2 hours into this one. And how close am I to the bottom? Oh, we're actually at the bottom. Holy shit. This one actually ended on time. Holy fuck.
Thanks to me.
12-hour and daily momentum are turning up above 470, which this one is above right now. But let's go look at it over here. So probably looking for a local low. Probably looking for local lows. I guess we charted this one yesterday. It'd be the same resolution as yesterday, above 515, even on a 4-hour closure. I'm looking for this one to trade up at minimum towards about 575, probably more like 6.25 to 650 or so. Daily over here. Yeah, pretty ugly long term. Pretty fucking ugly right there. But, you know, you typically do get pity bounces off of retests of your prior lows. So I still want to see it actually clear above that region. Until then, short-term timeframes are showing a hidden bearish divergence right here. So it would actually be suggesting another test back down towards 450 base. I'd get bearish on this one and call a full-on breakdown with the 4-hour closure below about 450. At that point, I'm looking for, you know, moves back down towards $4 even and probably beyond over time. Yeah, not the best one here, but hey, you know, if Bitcoin pulls through, this one very likely does as well. That's pretty much going to be the answer to most things, to be fair. Cap, welcome to the cave as well, sir. Justin Tomiak says, tell Krown Rmrk is a metaverse play on Polkadot, Kusama, and it will be able to interoperate with a chain NFTs. Nice. Sounds okay. So it sounds like they've, you know, the fundamentals follow the technicals, or the technicals follow the fundamentals. Sounds like it's probably legitimate. That's cool, man. So that's also the power of having a community with people who actually know this shit in comparison to me, which I do not. But yeah, man, you know, again, just a bit of a range right here. I mean, that's really all that it comes down to. Again, 515 highs versus basically 450 lows. Below 450, bad. New lows, very likely implied. Above 515, good. Very likely a continuation towards 575 minimum and probably more over time. Anyways, go back to Bitcoin over here, and what do we have? We got the same shit as before. The same damn shit as before. Still rejection right there. I still remain, I guess, downside angled as long as that condition is met. We just saw the 4-hour closure. The 4-hour did not confirm above the areas that would be needed to turn momentum back up. That is now 50,750 on spot price action, and on CME, it's freshly crossing down as long as below 50,870. So still, pressure is onto the downside as long as these are holding on. Again, while I do think that Bitcoin has a chance here, needs to clear above $52,000 specifically. Which one of my damn charts is the one to be looking at? I guess it's this one right here. Above 54 is where I start to look at everything as all good and mostly bullish again, with targets back up towards 59, maybe 60. and probably just pushes through over time. But for right now, Bitcoin's still under pressure. I do like 47,000 to 47.5 as a base. Would be looking for a bounce there if it does hit. Problems below, obviously, with implied targets on even an hourly closure below about 47 down to about 45 to 45.50 ish region. And again, that would still be long-term macro higher lows, but just be aware that that is quite a fair bit away. If I had to call it right now, I do think that Bitcoin, I don't know. Well, I shouldn't even call it right now. Look, just look at the ranges. I shouldn't give my opinion on it because at the end of the day, well, at the end of the day, it should just be about the information. Then, well, you can make the best decision for yourself. So I'm going to leave it right there. I want to wish you the best and the happiest. Once again, it was an absolute pleasure on this nice Thursday morning. Really, really fun times, really good conversations, and a shit ton of people in here as well, which is just amazing. I see a ton of likes on this video, which is just incredible. I'm going to be signing off now. Take care, and until next time.
Write it, code it, name it, tweet it, mine it, stack it, live it, dream it, post it, scan it, charge it, send it, do it, and receive it. Trade it, buy it, sell it, store it, run it, list it, first rename it. Crypto logic. Pump it, hack it, lose it, dump it, sell it, ditch it, XR, pitch it, copy, paste it, nudge it, test it, build it, try it, bend it, fork it, hype it, pump it, dump it, rinse, repeat, but quick relocate. Pause it, list it, send it, burn it, pump it, hack it, quick rename it, take it, take it, lend it, send it, swell it, sell it, flip, unflip it, see it, watch it, learn it, know it, post it, tweet it, and repeat it, chart it, long it, short it, hedge it, post prediction, quick erase it, watch it, leave it, watch it, leave it, check it, click it, and refresh it, find it, drop it, crack it, lose it, curse it, pay it, to it, pay it, bar it, chart it, hide it, fight it, deal it, seal it, and unlock it, back it, send it, change it, lend it, mine it, grind it, how it, test it, praise it, curse it, trash it, hash it, roll it, troll it, and upgrade it, take it, take it, lend it, send it, swell it, sell it, flip, unflip it, see it, watch it, learn it, know it, post it, tweet it, and repeat it, chart it, long it, short it, hedge it, post prediction, quick erase it, watch it, leave it, watch it, leave it, check it, click it, and refresh it, write it, code it, name it, read it, mine it, hack it, live it, dream it, post it, scan it, charge it,